women, I'm attracted to my haters, outlast them. Passport stamped it, getting funny work on consignment. Come on, now that's a backflip. Principles you stand on, wasted talent, sad song. Beach house 1.5, but the car dad said 260. God, obedience, Jesus, repentance. The marathon continues, and I'm strong to the finish.
All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready now. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking now. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going now, your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready now. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking now. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going now.
FYF, okay. No one measure, remember them 3 letters come with pressure. Okay. We be steppers, man, can't stop, won't let up. Real debate.
Places in Portland, we get it sorted. Lights can afford it, entertaining or boring. Whatever the top, and we act accordingly. Break it down, piece by piece. Been at this for too long. No elder but Rufus, saying what he on. Lace better stay gone. We get them all done. We get them all done. Yeah, we get them all done. All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready now. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking now. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going now, your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready now. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking now. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we
It's FYF Sports, man. It's Lamont. Back with another show, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up today. Salute to Nicholas Brown, man. Top moderator on the panel. Man, always is in here, man. Spamming it up, making sure everybody likes, comments, subscribes, man. I mean, Nicholas, man, we didn't hit like a roadblock. Once we got to like 55K, we hit like a roadblock, man. I had stopped going live. And man, we just kind of hit like a little rope, but we got to get that momentum back going because we went from like 40 to 50 really fast and 50 to 55 really fast. So now we got to find a way to get to 60, man. That's why I've been, getting this content out daily, man. Man, salute to the people that's in here early, man. We got your GOAT, man. Appreciate you pulling up. We got Ya, a Khalifa in the chat, man. Obviously, we got Nicholas Brown. We got Pagan in here early. And a few guys that hit the chat early before the stream started. We got Brian. We got Hybrid, man. Salute to everybody that pulled up, man. All right, AC Picks as well. I see you in there. Hey. Great stream today coming, man. Like I said, it's not going to be an 8-hour stream like we had yesterday, but it's going to be a highly efficient stream. We're going to get a lot done. We got to talk about some things. You know, we kind of bounce around. Sometimes we'll talk about the past. Sometimes we'll talk about the present, man. Either way, you know, we touch upon everything. You know, before we get started with the show today, man, we got to give a shout out to the show sponsor, Fit Aid, man. Fit Aid, man. One of the absolute best energy drinks on the market. Why? Because it's clean energy, man. All these other energy drinks where you talk about Monster, Rockstar, they got all these ingredients in it that's synthetic, that's going to have your heart racing, that's not natural, that's going to have you crashing. This is one of the only energy drinks, man, with the vitamins. You're talking about CoQ10s for your heart. You got the vitamin Bs, the electrolytes. You got the turmeric for your overall health. You got the natural caffeine from the green tea, man. The BACCs, if you actually work out, y'all need to grab you a Fit Aid, man. Short promo, man, just to introduce you guys to this new product, man. Y'all need to go check out Fit Aid, man. There we go right there. Hey, make sure you guys get you and grab you a Fit Aid. Man, salute to April Harmony in the chat, man. See you there, Wild West. I see you pull back up today. We got high in the chat. AC Pick said he sent a cash app, man. Hey, look, I got to check it. Make sure y'all let me know. If you do send a cash app, definitely let me know, because these cash app notifications are absolute garbage. Like I said, I don't even have a notification. The notifications don't pop up until I actually open the app. And then I get a notification at the top of my screen. It's ridiculous what be going on. But look, he says, for the leave-in conditioner, man. Salute, man. Salute, man. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Dropping that, hitting the cash app, supporting the channel, man. That's all appreciated. Like the cash apps, especially the cash apps, because the cash apps don't go straight to YouTube. YouTube is taking upwards of 40% out of the super chats and even out of the memberships. So whenever you hit the cash app, man, and that goes straight to us, man, that's even more beneficial. So again, salute. But we do have our memberships available for the people that are interested in signing up for our memberships. The link is right there. All right, we got 3 tiers. All right, so it's gonna give you access to some things. I can't promise the world in perks, but hey, we're going to give something back to you. She said, that's good to know. I just finished working out. Hey, that's what's up right there. The morning workouts is the best way to start your day. That's why you need to grab you a Fit Aid, right? I got my gym set up in my garage. I always drink it. I just ran out of my Fit Aids. They got to send me some more. But I'm always trying to start my day with a bottle of water, and then I'm following it up with some Fit Aid after I get my day going. So make sure y'all check it out. And look, these are even good. Look, if you had a long night out partying, you need to get over a hangover, grab you a Fit Aid. It's probably the number one tool to get rid of all the hangovers. If you had a long night of drinking, long weekend, check it out. Will the panel be open? Yes, I will open the panel up. We got a lot to talk about today. I will be opening the panel up. Obviously, I'm going to touch on a few things. Salute to Jason Brown in there. Just a few things I wanted to touch on today before we open the panel up. Just the NBA trade circuit is about to start. Normally, we don't see a ton of trades. As soon as that trade window begins, we don't normally see a ton of trades just right out the gate. I think it's been, it was something crazy. It's something crazy, been 10 years since we've seen a trade happen really early in December. It hasn't, that normally. He says, your fridge is currently empty. Yeah, I know, but the Fit Aids, man. I've been drinking the Fit Aids up. I'm going to get it loaded up today. They got some on the way for me, man. So I'm not worried about it. Salute to Renegade, man. Appreciate you being here, man. Astro Clipper Talk. He says, I heard the Suns were planning trading for Bogdanovich. Is that true? I don't see. The thing is right now, the only thing we can do with trades is we can speculate. All we can do is speculate. And the reason why we only can speculate because the real trade talks, the real trades that happen, we don't hear about. We'll hear all this speculation and then the complete opposite happens. So I think the smartest thing to try to talk about is what moves make most sense for certain teams. We understand or actually understanding what players need to go. There's certain players on certain teams that just need to get traded. Where they get traded is just going to be up in the air. But like when you talk about the Eric Gordons from Houston, he just has to go. He's a vet. Over 20 teams in the league has rumored to be inquiring about him. He needs to go. Where he lands, where his best fit might be, well, he can fit with a number of teams. What teams are actually going to pull the trigger on getting him? It's all going to be about what Houston's asking for and what teams can give Houston exactly what they're asking for. When you look at a guy like Jay Crowder with the Suns, he hasn't played a game this year. Obviously, there's some type of divide going on over there. What's going on with Jay Crowder? I don't know. But does he need to go? Yes. Where does he fit best? I don't know. Does he get back to Miami? They need a little bit of help over there. When you look at the standings, I've been hearing things with the Bucks. All right. You also hear the Lakers. You hear the Lakers name sprinkled in almost with every single player, it seems. So there's another question right there. I think another player that we have to talk about is Bismack Biyombo. Another highly efficient veteran big who can come in short minutes and give you a lot. Where could he potentially land? You Celtics are struggling with front court depth. With Al Horford and Robert Williams both being out, maybe the Celtics go make a push for another veteran big to add to that rotation. A guy that's fallen out of the rotation because of Bo's rise, because of Franz Wagner's rise. Mo Bamba has fallen out of the rotation in Orlando. His name has been sprinkled around, but he's going to have to go because he seems like the dispensable young player over there. And Orlando's looking like they could potentially compete. If not this year, then at least next, right? Orlando right now is sitting at 9-20, but their record is not truly indicative of how they've been playing. They are much improved. That record doesn't truly showcase their potential going forward in the future. You also have Markelle Fultz over there, who I did not believe the Orlando Magic want to keep long term. You got Jason Brown. He says, I meant trade him. You talking about trade Siakam? He says, what do you think the market is for the Raptors? The Raptors are the mystery team in this trade market this year. You guys can come in here and elaborate on it a little bit more. The Raptors are a very tricky team to kind of understand because they have a lot of young talent. You would think they would want to stand pat. So I kind of don't know about the Raptors, man. That's a tricky one right there. We're just going to have to sort through all of this and try to figure it out. So like I said, I'm just throwing these names out there. When we talk about James Wiseman, he's a great prospect. He hasn't turned into a great player yet. He's a great prospect. But what the Warriors need at the center spot, James Wiseman doesn't have time to learn and catch up. The learning curve, he's just not going to have enough time to be what they need him to be. Right? Unless the Warriors have one of those down years where they're just tanking again and they're just allowing all of their young guys to develop for a whole year, there's not going to be much leeway or much room for James Wiseman to improve. James Wiseman needs to find a new home. Where would that new home be? I don't know. I mean, when you look to a team like the Sacramento Kings, I like what they're building over there. I don't know, man. Teams would love Wiseman, but only certain teams would love Wiseman. I think the Miami Heat would love a James Wiseman. Right? When you look at a Miami Heat team, they don't have a true big over there. Right? They actually need more scoring from the center position. James Wiseman is not even asked to score from the center position with the Warriors. So I think there's a need right there. But again, what are the Miami Heat willing to give up to get a player like that? Do they have anything to give up? Sky says we would take him. Yeah, you probably would take him, but it's also about if you're taking them, the Warriors are going to want something comparable in return, right? Because I don't believe the Warriors are giving up on this season. I think they're still going to make a push for another deep playoff run. So you're going to have to give them something, especially for James Wiseman. With a ton of potential, you're going to have to give up a valuable asset to get him. Who do you give up? We got Oaktown A in the chat, man. He says, who could we get that makes a difference? It depends on who is we. I mean, I'm assuming since you got Oaktown there, you're talking about the Warriors. I mean, I think the Warriors need to go after Vucevic for the Chicago Bulls. I think the Warriors are struggling with interior scoring. Teams are sagging off Draymond too much. Looney is just not giving you much on the offensive side of the ball. With Steph Curry hurt, Wiggins has also been hurt as well. Clay, inconsistent. He'll have a 40-point game, a 10-point game, a 30-point game, a 5-point game. I think you need consistent scoring from the center spot. Vucevic, who's an all-star, a former all-star at the center spot, he can score at an efficient level. He's an average defender, but he could be better in a team setting. I like Nicolo Vucevic for the Warriors. And the contracts, there are contracts to make it work. I also think that the Warriors have some chemistry issues. When you look at a team like the Warriors, I think that there's a Jordan Poole issue. I was talking to a former player. for the Warriors, Nicolo Mannion. And he was just kind of highlighting some of the issues that he's been hearing about that locker room. There's a divide in that locker room. And that divide is with Jordan Poole and everyone else. A lot of people just assumed that the entire team was upset at Draymond Green for punching Jordan Poole. And actually, within the locker room, the sentiment was, thank God somebody did that, because he was getting too high on himself. He was just starting to feel himself too much. He was talking crazy. His mouth was getting reckless, not just with players like Draymond, but it was also getting reckless with Clay. It was getting reckless with Steph. It was getting reckless with the coaching staff. Then he got reckless with Draymond. Draymond just was the first person to check him on it. Now, again, that's from a former player who has ties to that organization. So, again, that's what I'm hearing. But also you could see that there's a divide when they play. They do not look very connected chemistry-wise. And that's been the one thing that's helped them sustain over the last years. Even when they have these offensive funks, they still can sustain and play well because they have good chemistry. Haas says Wiseman to the Hornets, maybe. Wiseman to the Hornets. The Hornets right now, I think the Hornets are going to start dumping a lot of their assets. I believe Terry Rozier is on his way out. They can't trade Gordon Hayward. He has a fractured shoulder. Once again, he's injured, so that contract is panning out to easily be the worst contract in the NBA. I don't know. I don't know what the Hornets want to do. You got LaMelo Ball. He's finally back from injury. He played well in his first game back, but he doesn't have any sufficient help. And then I think the Charlotte Hornets need to determine going forward in the future. I think the Charlotte Hornets' number one thing is that what they need to figure out is LaMelo Ball a number one option or a number two option? If they're looking to just be a fringe playoff team, LaMelo Ball is your number one option. If they're looking to be a great team, I don't believe LaMelo Ball can be your number one option. I believe their number one target in the offseason needs to be Bradley Beal, a player like that, a dynamic scorer that doesn't need to ball a ton to score, that you can put alongside a LaMelo, where Bradley could be the one, LaMelo could be the two, and then you supplement the players around it. And then they got to find a way to fix the center spot because they've been horrible at the center spot for a while. Look, as you guys start to filter in, I'm going to be dropping the link here in about a couple minutes. I'm going to be dropping the link. I'm just going to run over a few more trade scenarios, talk about a few more players. Like, I don't expect today's live stream to be extremely long, 2 hours max probably, but I want to get a lot of these players. We got to talk about these players. And like I said, we can try to predict how these trades are going to go. 99% of the time, the trades that we predict are 100% wrong. I'm just trying to really identify the players that need to get traded. There are certain guys that just need to go. And then we can try to hash out where they might land right there. But again, as you guys filter in, I appreciate you guys pulling up to the stream today. We got a few of our members in the chat. Like I said, we're streaming. As some of you guys, if you're new here, we're streaming on 2 platforms, on FYF Sports Debates and FYF Sports Debates Live. If you want to become a member of the channel, click the link. It's going to take you over to FYF Sports Debates Live, where you can hit the super chat, or you can become a member of the channel. So again, I appreciate anybody who wants to become a member of the channel, or if you simply want to just donate to support, you can donate to support by just hitting the Cash App or the Zelle. And I'll drop that in the chat as well. I see you right there, Nicolo Mannion right there. He says another Nicolo Mannion reference. Hey, that's the homie right there. That's the homie. It's a good buddy of mine. I know I'm just name dropping. Sorry. Shamelessly. It's all right, Hitman. But see, Hitman, I just refuse. I just refuse to be one of those people to say that I have sources, but never name who those sources are. When I talk to people, I'm like, you don't mind if I mention this? Like, if they tell me not to mention something, I won't mention it. But I'll ask them, you don't mind if I talk about this, or you don't mind if I tell people? And if they're fine with it, I'll be like, all right. There's things that people and players have told me that, no, I don't talk about it, but this is what's going on. I just don't even talk about it. But it just adds to the level of credibility, man. Some people, I mean, I hate it when people say, yeah, my source told me this, but they can't name drop or reference back to anybody. It's just a little bit of credibility. Is he still playing in Italy? No, he's not in Italy no more. I believe he's trying to make a push back to the NBA. He was last with a team in Italy. But I think he's going to be joining the Warriors again. He's been talking with the Warriors organization a lot, but he's trying to get back in the league. He's probably about 95% fully recovered from his sickness. Hornets will be good if they get Scoot or Victor, but then Hornets right now, teams like that, teams that are in tank mode, the one thing they can't do is they can't hope that they can get Scoot or Victor, because these draft projections never pan out the way most teams think. So they can't go deep, there. He says, don't think I forgot you said that Phoenix should draft Mannion over Halliburton. I like Mannion. Everybody liked Mannion. I just didn't know enough about Tyrese Halliburton to say that anybody should draft him. I think Halliburton was a surprise to a lot of people coming out of, I think, Iowa State. Just nobody watched Iowa State basketball like that. If I saw more of them, I would have known. But Mannion was a player that I've seen in person. I saw more of him. Of course, I'm gonna just go with what I've seen. Crooktown P, salute, man. He said, what you mean? Even main media people don't be name dropping. They say, all right, but the difference, Crooktown, is that main media people are on a mainstream media outlet. And when you're on a mainstream media outlet, everything that you say is vetted. So before the show starts, you talk about the things that you're going to say, and they'll be like, okay, if you say this, can we double check this to make sure it's accurate? Even if you can't name your source, a lot of the things that people say on mainstream media, Crooktown Pete, is already vetted before the show starts. So there's already a level of credibility, because networks are at risk. If you say something that's not true, it could be liable. They could be liable for the things that their hosts say. So they have to vet everything. So it's fine. I mean, I understand you want to protect the people that that lie about the things that they hear. But again, there's a level of credibility there when you're dealing with mainstream media. Salute to Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Mahari, we got to get back to our morning podcast show. I've been slipping on it. That's my fault. Salute to y'all. Need to check out Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, man. We have a morning commute show on Amazon. It's just an audio podcast, man. We was dropping some bangers on it too, man, and we just kind of fell off. I know Mahari got busy with some life stuff. I did too with the coaching. We gonna get back to it though, and we gonna republish those episodes either on Mahari's channel or on my channel over here. So make sure y'all check out Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, man. Salute always, as usual, also to Elder Rufus, man. He's in the chat. I'm sure this topic, he's going to jump in and weigh on this as well, because there's a ton of players that just need to get moved. There's a ton of players that need to get moved, but will these teams find reasonable trades for them? And with so much parity in the league this year, our team's going to be nervous on pulling the trigger on any trade. I think the Lakers right now are nervous about pulling the trigger on a trade, right? Obviously, it's going to be really tough to make a Russell Westbrook trade because he's been playing so good off the bench. Now you're looking at guys like Pat Beverly. Can we package him with somebody else? If they do send Pat Beverly off, they might have to package him with Lonnie Walker if they're looking to get something legitimate in return. I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot of teams. A lot of people in the chat have been talking about Jakob Poeltl for the Spurs. Jakob Poeltl is another player, man. Do the Spurs truly want to trade him? Is that the direction they want to go? I keep hearing that Jakob Poeltl is going to own the trade block, but I don't believe the Spurs want to trade him. I don't see how that benefits the Spurs to trade Jakob Poeltl. I don't know. You know, we got Malik Beasley for the Cavs. I believe he needs to potentially be moved. You got Bogdanovich. Ever since Murray's been with the Hawks, he's kind of taken the rotational minutes away from Bogdanovich. You know, a lot of people were saying that the Lakers need to trade for his brother in Detroit. I thought the Lakers needed to trade for Bogdan in Atlanta. I feel like he's the type of shooter that they need because he's the type of shooter that can catch on the fly. He can catch and shoot. I think he can do just a little bit more with his offense. And with that Lakers offense that's so stagnant, they don't need guys that can just catch and shoot. They need guys that can catch and move on the fly and shoot multiple ways. He said, I've heard trade talks turn around in Kenyon Martin Jr. I haven't heard anything about Kenyon Martin Jr. I'm also struggling to see if he can actually help a team. He could probably go to another young team, but I don't know if he can help a team that's really in the playoff push. I think Matisse Thybulle, I think his time is in with the Sixers is up. Right, great defensive wing, struggles mightily on the offensive end. He's actually an extreme liability on the offensive end. But I think he's on his way out, and it's going to be about what can the Sixers get to fill a void that they need. If you give a player like that up, then you have to really consider what do we need. I think they need another big man on that roster. Maybe at the power forward spot. I think they also need to maybe consider moving Tobias Harris because I don't know if he's giving them enough offensively for the money that he's making. He says Boggy is more catch and shoot, more than a catch and shoot guy. He's bigger. He is bigger. I mean, I like Boggy over in Detroit. I mean, he's a really good player, right? We've seen him carry the Indiana Pacers for a season or two. He's a really good scorer. I'm just thinking if you're the Lakers, if you're thinking a little bit more long term, maybe going with the younger legs will help you. I don't know. I mean, the Lakers have gotten screwed a lot over the last couple of years by going with the older player. I think the safer bet would just be to go with the maybe not as talented younger player. That's paid dividends with Lonnie Walker. I think there were a ton of guys more talented than Lonnie Walker that the Lakers could have went after. But the youth in Lonnie Walker is what's helping the Lakers more than anything. He says, Daryl Morey wants Eric Gordon. Probably so. I just don't see where he fits in. I know Tyrese Maxey is hurt. James Harden was hurt. So it depends on where you fit him in with the rotation. Just Blaze says, when Gary Payton II coming back, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's just been out, man, with that abdominal injury. So, again, I don't know. I haven't really heard any news on that. He says Boggy is a good third or fourth optional offense. I get that. Younger players should be at a premium. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I actually like his brother in Detroit better. I think his brother in Detroit is much, much better by a long shot. But the Lakers have just gotten completely screwed when they go with the older players. And I don't know if it's a curse or if it's just bad luck. But when they go with the older guy, it seems like immediately that older player gets injured and he is absolutely useless to the Lakers. So I say just go with the younger legs. I think the younger legs is what's going to pay off. He says Reeves paid off. He's younger. Yeah, Reeves is not as talented as a ton of guys. But you know what? Reeves, his youth, the energy that he brings on both sides of the ball, that's what saves the Lakers a lot of times. Are they really brothers? Yes, they are brothers. Yes, they are brothers. Those are two brothers. He says, I like Bey in Detroit. I don't know if Detroit's willing to give up Sadiq Bey. Washington and Charlotte. I just don't know if they're really will. I think they like Sadiq Bey. He's a really good player. He's a really good. I think he's part of their future. I thought they were related. Your goat. I thought they were related. I would have to check that, but I thought they were related. If I'm wrong, I'll accept that one. He said Bogdan is from Serbia. His brother's from Croatia. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You might be right on that one. I'll take that one. Hitman says, Hitman, obviously with the membership logo, man, salute to Hitman. Y'all see that logo by his name. You know, Hitman is over there watching on the other channel. Hitman is watching over on FYF Sports Debates live, man. You see the logo by his name, member of the channel, man. Hitman says, outside of Paolo, who is your rookie of the year? I don't really know outside of him. I mean, you could probably go with Jaden Ivey, who's been playing really good. I don't know, but I think it's Paolo's award to win. But I think Jaden Ivey's had a really good year as well. I think the most improved player, if you're looking at awards, should definitely go to Bo. I mean, that was another player that I felt the Lakers should have went after in the offseason. And they completely just missed the ball on a ton of young guys because they're just playing it too safe. But let me get this link ready because I know it's the morning. I know people on the run. People got a lot of stuff to do. It might be lunchtime for certain people if you're on the East Coast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this link dropped for everybody. So we just not just talking. I got a ton more names to go through, a lot more topics to get on with regards to teams and trades. How can they improve? So let me get this link ready real quick. Drop this link in the chat, man. Get you guys in here to chop it up. About these trades. Oh, yeah, Apex Jones. Yeah, the guy from the Pacers, he's a rookie of the year. He's definitely in that race as well. He's really good. He came in. He did not disappoint. I mean, he came in, told people he was going to be nice, and he stood on it, man. He's nice. He is not backing down from these vets. Every time he's a superstar on the other end, man, he takes it right at him. He said Bo's get paid. Bo's money is going to get affected because of his off the court endeavors. I mean, this year he's doing a really good job, but Bo, he needs to clean up his off the court stuff. A lot, he has that. This is why Denver wasn't playing, and people that thought Denver didn't think he was good. Denver thought he was a great player. He had too much off the court stuff going on that their coach wouldn't tolerate. We got a few people in here right here. We got Elder. We got your goat. We got Herm. Salute, man. Appreciate y'all.
Salute.
Hey, salute, my brother. Salute.
Elder, what's good?
Hey, salute, Herm. What's going on, y'all?
What's good, Elder? What you got? What you hearing in the trade circus, man? Any players out there that we not talking about?
I've been out
on the radar.
I've been on the road. I've been out the loop. It's the same old names. The thing I am hearing though is that most of these teams are kind of in a flux. They're not at a point where they're ready. It ain't so bad that they're ready to do something because if we're being real, the league been very mediocre this year. You know what I mean? Kind of across the board. So nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. If a team was 10, 15 games out already, then their hand will be forced one way or another. But right now, everybody still actually kind of got a shot. They still got young guys because they want to develop. They still want to see what they can do, get them more minutes. So I don't think it's what I'm hearing is no one's in a rush. Let's put it that way. Nobody's actually in a big rush. So it'll probably be more, February 9th of the trade deadline? It'll probably be more deals like from February 1st to February 9th from what I'm hearing.
Okay. Yeah, I want everybody to do this well. I'm going to start with Elder first. Obviously, take your favorite team.
Uh-huh.
If you're the GM of the day and you could offer a trade to any team, what's the first trade that you offering? Who are you bringing in? Who are you getting rid of?
I'm bringing in Bogey. I do like him in Detroit. I get what you're saying about the brother down in Atlanta. He's just more of a two. He's not a true wing, in my opinion. Bogey's bigger, and I like the role that Bogey's had. His contract is not much to move. Like, you're not going to get a big-time player back because of his age, but he don't look like a guy that doesn't falling off either. And the role that he would be with the Lakers is definitely not the role he's got in Detroit. He's really the number one guy in Detroit right now with old boy being out. He would be the third fourth option at best in the Lakers, but he's shown he can do that in Utah. You see what I'm saying? Be viable, still put up close to 20 a game in Utah. And I've watched a lot of his games this year. A lot of people thought he's just catch and shoot. He's not that. He can put it on the floor, bro. He can create. He's just a flat out bona fide sniper, bro. But he come off that screen, he ain't got to bring the ball down. I mean, he got the full Monty offensively, and because the Lakers are in a win now, I'm going that route to get him. Even though he's older, but then I'm also trying to go some route to get a younger guy in the sense of either Reddish, a younger wing like a Reddish maybe, because I know they like him, or if I go over to Charlotte and get their young wing and PJ Washington, somebody like that. I hearing a lot of names. I'm hearing a lot of names. Nobody's super serious right now unless somebody does something stupid to blow you away. Like everybody's waiting. You know, there are good deals on the table for almost a lot of teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's waiting for that great deal that may happen if something falls out the way, you know, like a player get hurt or this or that. So if I'm the Lakers, I know I need wing help bad. I noticed that when I got to go to these smaller guards, 3 of them on the court at a time, that's what hurts my team. I got to get wings in there. And even they don't even have to be the greatest defensive wings because the team defense is good enough. Anthony Davis being in his right position helps enough. Just get taller bodies that can contest shots better. It's a difference when a 6'8", 6'9" guy sticks his arm out while you shooting to a guy that's 6'1", 6'2". Honestly, it's just a big difference. You know, when you stand at 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", there's a difference. And sometimes that little bit of a difference can mean you winning a game or you losing a game. So a guy being short or long on the shot or a guy swishing it because he's getting a really clear look that don't distract him. So I would get a wing if I'm the Lakers, and the first one I go after is be Bogey. I would actually do I guess they offered a heavily protected, so probably top 20 protected. I would do like a top 5, honestly. That's it. I would do a top 5 protected. I think they take that too. If I only protect the top 5, I think they take that first round for that. I would do that. I still love the Utah, but I don't know if Utah want to make a move right now. I love the guys in Utah. Me personally, I think they fit the Lakers well. I would literally give up both of the picks, or definitely 1 and 2 seconds if I could get Conley, Vanderbilt, and Beasley. I think them 3 guys fit the Lakers well. I'll be quiet.
No, go ahead, huh?
I was gonna say, Utah trying to trade Vanderbilt still quietly behind the scenes. I think 2 teams probably gonna go after him the hardest. If I'm looking at my Grizzlies, I think we could use a guy like Vanderbilt on the team. Vanderbilt would fit right in with the mentality that the Grizzlies have, and probably could push them to the next level. Actually, I heard too about your worst enemy, them strippers going at the Vanderbilt behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't understand. I get them doing it. I just don't see why. Because the strippers got so many guys that can play 3 and 4 for them. So many. I mean, young guys sitting on the bench over there. Like, I want Vanderbilt where I got to give up assets to get him, or do I just want to play coffee? You know what I'm saying? I got a guy that can do. Now Vanderbilt is on a whole nother level defensively, in my opinion. But Coffee, a better offensive player, you know. But I like the guys the Clippers got at those positions. I mean, you got Morris, you got Batum, of course, you got Paul George or Kawhi that can play up if they need to. You got Coffee. I'm missing somebody else that they got at the 4 position.
Off ass in a second if I could get my hands on Vanderbilt though.
You give up who?
I get rid of Coffee in a second if I'm the Clippers.
But the problem is they want a first for Vanderbilt. Are you giving up a first as the Clippers? The way they sit, is he that valuable where he's work? Well, you don't even the Clippers even have any first. I don't think they have any first. They can't give up nothing.
Yeah, I don't think they do. But they in a bust situation, they should go out.
I think the Clippers. I think the Clippers need to use this year to retool and get prepared for the offseason, which means strip down salary and find a way to revamp and rebuild their roster in a manner where they can still compete, but also understand that, because they have two superstars that are hurt a lot, and they've completely wasted. I mean, a lot of people talk about the Lacers having, been, a bad pairing with, with LeBron and AD, but they at least have a chip. I mean, this Clipper pairing, since they've been over there, this duo has not worked at all. I mean, it has been a failure. I mean, if you look at how much money that they're doling out to their two stars and what you've gotten in return, it has not paid off. And you now have to start trying to cash in on this, because Kawhi Leonard has shown that he is breaking down. Paul George cannot be a number one. You're not going to at least make a deep playoff run with him as your number one. They got to retool that roster. I think, unfortunately, I know their best asset is Zubac. What can you get in return for Zubac right now?
Would you trade?
I just think they need to retool and construct a roster a little bit better.
They married to them superstars, and then I agree. But the things to me that the Clippers need, they need a floor general that can run the offense, because their offense is horrible to me. It is to have that kind of talent and to struggle to score the way the Clippers struggle to score is unfathomable. So it's obviously the coaches. Hold on real quick, Herm. Obviously the coaches can't figure it out because they haven't. But if you get a real good floor general, he'll direct it and make it and get guys easy buckets. So I think they should retool that offense, get rid of a few guys, but look to get a true floor general and let him do his thing. And then secondly, I think they need a backup big man. I think they do. They shouldn't have let Hartenstein walk. They need a quality backup big man. If they get those two things, I think the Clippers is really legit then, because they are too predictable offense. They defense, I got to give it to them. When they are focused, bro, you ain't scoring against that team. That team is long, athletic. They're super hard to score against. But I'm not concerned about them scoring either. They got some of the best shooters in the game.
I got a question. Would you trade a guy like Reggie? Would you trade a guy like Reggie Jackson? Because he been up and down, been inconsistent, and plus the Clippers' offense actually looked better when John Wall in there.
I would
honestly, I would be looking to trade Covington first before him, because Jackson has produced for me. Jackson is inconsistent because the Clippers are inconsistent. When you just let Jackson get out there and go, he hit big shots for them. He does big things for them. And he's cheap. I like having Reggie Jackson on that team. He just needs consistency. He can't be, playing 20 minutes today and then 35 the next day. He can't. He can't be in the start lineup this week, threatening to be put on the bench next. He just be consistent. Make him your sixth man. Make him your starting two guard. Whatever it is you're going to do it. But be consistent with him, and I think you'll get consistency. Covington is a good enough prize because teams need wings. You got a plethora of wings. And what Covington's bringing to the table, I think you have guys like Mann. You have guys like Coffey, of course, Batum. You got other guys that can fill in and do that. He's the one, to me, that not that he's played, but I'm just saying, he's the one that I could get rid of and get back something that I want. So I would be looking to move Covington, me personally. I ain't moving Zoo for nothing. I don't care. I ain't moving Zoo. Hell no. He been too good. He been their best player. I've watched a lot of Clipper games this year. Zubac has been their best, most consistent player this year. So I can't move that dude. I can't move him at all, bro. I can't. He gives them a major advantage over most teams because that dude is strong as a darn Tonka truck, bro. That booger's strong, and most centers cannot deal with him in there.
Yeah, I agree, but I think that what the Clippers need the most is a facilitator point guard like Mike Conley, because I like Reggie Jackson when he played with the Pistons. I liked him, but he isn't that good of a playmaker, more a facilitator in my opinion. So if the Clippers can get a good facilitating point guard, I think they'll be a better team in my opinion. So,
but I think my Grizzlies need to go ahead and make a push. We got some assets that we could make. We could make a good trade and get a good piece to try to make a deep run in the West this year. So I think we need to go forward.
I mean, what pieces are you giving up?
I mean, we got picks and everything that we can give up, but I'll try to get rid of a guy like Dillon Brooks if I can.
Oh, no. You're not making a playoff run without Dillon Brooks.
I mean, they can. They can make it with Daddy's ass. They can make it with that.
Now, because his defense is what y'all need on the perimeter, and his scoring you have nobody that could replace it. Even if who are you going to get to replace his scoring and defense? That'd be too hard for the contract that he has. It'd be too hard to replace in a trade.
I mean, like for instance, if I could get a swap, if I could get Vanderbilt, I'll take Vanderbilt.
You get
over
Vanderbilt for Brooks?
I'll take
No,
Vanderbilt.
I wouldn't do that.
No,
I wouldn't do that.
I don't
I
believe.
wouldn't
I
do
don't,
that.
I don't like Dylan Brooks.
No.
I know you don't. Hey, Herm, I know you don't like him, but you're talking about a bona fide starter for you, defensive, one of your best perimeter defenders, and not afraid of the moment guy for a guy that's going to come off the bench for you. Vanderbilt's not starting for you. You get him. You got Jaren Jackson Jr. He's not starting for you. So you give up Dylan Brooks for him?
Yeah, no way.
That don't make sense, bro. I wouldn't do that. I'm not giving up a starter for a bench guy. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
And not only do they got Jaren Jackson Jr., they also got Steven Adams. So
yeah,
he'll be like the third option.
Yeah, and then they got another dude. The light skinned leaper.
Zaire Williams.
No. That's another one. They got Zaire Williams, but the guy that you look like Grant from back in the day that played for Miami to me. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, the cat from Gonzaga that we get.
Their big men are good. I mean, I think Vanderbilt can help any team, but that rotation gonna be very hard for him to crack.
And you talk about Brandon Clark too.
Brandon Clark. Man, that's 4 big guys. He ain't playing over. Yeah, those guys are getting minutes over him.
Yeah, they don't need Vanderbilt.
And now you don't. And then now you stuck with Ja, who's not a great perimeter defender, and Bang, who are both small. Those are 2 small guards. Now Bang will bang you out from the 3, and he plays strong. He's strong, plays decent defense, but you need Dylan Brooks. You need his size. You need his mentality. I'm not giving Dylan Brooks. Like I said, I put Dylan Brooks in the Kevin Durant trade. I'm not putting him in the Jared Vanderbilt trade. I mean, you gonna go to a guy like KD, yes, but nah, they need Dylan Brooks.
Sure, Brooks is staying pegged though, so we know it's all
No, Memphis needs a vet. Memphis needs another vet.
I think I know somebody that'll fit Memphis.
They can get an Eric Gordon or
no.
That's what
Jeremy Grant will fit Memphis perfect.
No, they don't. Yeah, but young guys.
That would be perfect. I know they ain't gonna get rid of him, but I'm saying that'll be a perfect fit for.
If we're going off the narrative that Herm said to make a strong playoff push this year, their biggest problem last year was they were just extremely undisciplined at times.
Yeah,
that's why you have your vets.
And they traded away, or they let both their vets go. They had good vets. Slow-Mo was a very good vet for them, and Milton was a good vet. They went to Philly. They literally let their 2 good vets go. I thought that was bad moves on their part. I really did.
But if we can get Conley back, I'll take that if we could mess around.
But why y'all call that man Slow-Mo though?
I like having Slow-Mo. I like Slow-Mo
because he's smooth. He got a smooth.
He's smart too, bro. And he just ain't flashy with it, but he's smart, bro. And then again, he's a solid veteran that knows how to win. I don't think they got nothing for. I didn't like those 2 guys going out.
And
they
Lamont,
were big.
I like what Lamont said about Eric Gordon though, because we do got money too, so we could.
Y'all don't need Eric Gordon. What would Eric Gordon do for y'all?
He's a vet.
He's a vet.
What would Aaron Gordon do for y'all? What would Aaron Gordon do for y'all that Desmond Bain?
He could score the ball, man.
He's a vet.
I'm gonna tell you who they need.
Desmond Bain is the same exact player.
Because I agree with my man there. I don't Mingle Jester because he's another small. He's a good vet. I love EG. Y'all know that. But they got guards. They got smaller guards that can't play defense already. They don't need that no more. And he's older, so I'm not with that. Actually, who they need wings to me. They need another good veteran wing. What I'm
Jeremy Grant. I'm telling you, that'll be perfect for me.
That's too high though. That's too high though.
I know it's too high.
Jay Crowder is the type of move is what I'm thinking. Yeah, a Jay Crowder, that kind of guy would really help.
No. Elder, I know it's too high. And I know they won't get him. But I'm saying he would be perfect for them if they could get him.
But that's what I'm talking about.
He would be perfect for a lot of teams. That ain't realistic. That's the only problem. It's not.
Yeah, I know they're gonna get him though. I know Portland ain't letting your boy go without a package. You're gonna have to put together a package to get your boy.
They're not. I don't care what package you put together. They're not trading him.
I
Listen,
think
You
they
don't think
will
they're
get rid
going
of him.
hold
I
on,
think they will
Lamont,
get
you don't
rid
think
of
they're
him.
gonna
It
trade
depends
him
on
at
what
all?
it
You think they're
is.
gonna let him just sit at home all year? That what you think they're gonna do?
It depends
Lamont?
on who it is.
You
No,
talking
hold on. You
about
talking Grant?
I mean, we
yeah, you talking
got
about
the
no,
assets,
no.
Lamont.
Who you
We got
saying
the
that they're
assets
not
to
gonna
get Jay
trade? You talking
Crowder.
about
nah,
Portland's not
No, I
gonna
Herm.
was talking
trade?
about
Nah,
Jeremy
Herm.
Grant.
You
I was talking
tripping.
about
Oh,
Jeremy
I'm
Oh, you
Grant.
sorry,
talking
my
about
bad. I
Jeremy
thought you was
Grant?
talking about oh boy in Phoenix.
Nah.
I thought you were
I
talking about
mean,
the
we
dude in
got the
Phoenix.
money. We got cap space and all that. We could make a
Nah,
trade
Herm.
for him. But Portland gonna
Nah,
want
Didn't
too
they
Herm.
give
much.
up a first? Hold on. Didn't they give up a first to get Grant?
I believe they
Yeah,
did.
they did. Portland
Yeah,
gonna
they
want
gave
too
him a
much.
first. They're not. They're
Portland gonna
not
want
gonna.
too much.
They're not. He playing well with them. They're gonna give Grant what he wants, bro.
Yeah,
They're
they're gonna
not
give
gonna
him
let
this
him just
money
But
and
walk.
we can
everything.
get Jay
Yeah,
Crowder though. I can see
you just
that.
gave up assets
And Jay Crowder
and
trash.
picks, bro. They're not letting Grant go nowhere.
Of course they give y'all Jay Crowder. He ain't doing
Jay
nothing.
Crowder would fit with us
No, he
though.
not even played this year yet. Remember, he set
Jay
because he
Crowder
wanted to
ain't
trade.
doing nothing.
Hold
But
on.
Jay
Yeah,
Crowder would fit with us.
Crowder would be a good fit for them.
Herm, you tripping. You talking about
Man,
giving away Dylan DeVilla?
man, forget Dylan Brooks, man. You know why
Nah,
I'm saying
that's
what I'm saying.
stupid.
He
That's dumb.
undisciplined.
Nah.
I agree
He's
with Elder on that one.
undisciplined.
That's dumb. No.
He do a
No.
lot of
No.
dumb shit
No.
on the court.
No.
We
Hey,
really
No. No.
Hey, hold
No.
on. Lamont, you said we need to talk about our favorite teams, right? So you know
Yeah,
Herm,
talk about.
he got 27 teams. We
no.
only gonna deal with just two.
Yeah,
Man.
So we're
no,
gonna deal with
Herm,
his
Herm, yeah.
hey, we already dealt with Memphis. Let's deal with Chicago now. Let's deal with Herm
Exactly.
Chicago. What
Exactly.
they're 11-16. What Chicago need to do, Herm? Herm, what Chicago need to
Hell,
do?
This
one
is
of
other
them got
team.
one. I'm gonna tell you, either Levine or DeRozan got to go, and Vucevic. So you got to get rid of 2 out of the 3. Now, what you gonna try to get for them? I don't know who really value those guys high enough that you can get some good shit from them. So
What?
I don't think they'll value DeRozan like y'all think, like you think teams will. I wouldn't value no damn DeMar DeRozan like that.
Hey,
I would. I would.
if I'm them, since the Lakers have made it known they're interested, just come down on your package. Don't play hardball. You've got a great opportunity to get off 2 older guys and get some of your assets back. Because they didn't give up just 1. They gave up 2 picks for Vooch, y'all. They gave up 2 picks for Vooch.
Yeah.
You can't just let this dude walk away in the summer.
Exactly.
You can't.
That's the
You
number
got a
one guy
team
we got to
you got
trade.
a team right now that I guarantee you, if they came to the Lakers and said, "Hey, we'll just take," even if the Lakers played hardball and said, "Look, we'll give you a pick, but it's got to be top 5 protected," bro. That
Now
means
give us a first round pick
I
and
would,
give us
I
Russ,
would,
man. We give you
I would do
Vucevic.
that
Give us
if
Russ.
I was them. I would say, "Give me Russ, because they need another guard. They need a guard like Russ.
Yeah,
Give me Russ
give me
and
Russ
a first."
and a
And a
first
top
round
5
pick.
protected first, and I give
Give
you
me
No,
now.
not
Vucevic.
Give
protected.
me
No,
a
no,
You get
first
no.
that
round
salary. You get
unprotected.
the
I want
salary
an
off. You get
unprotected. I give you
I'm not doing it if it's
my thing is.
protected. I'm
Hey,
not doing
here's
it if
my
it's
thing.
give
protected.
me
Here's the
unprotected.
thing.
L. I
I'm
Here's the
not
want a
doing
thing.
it
first
if it's
round
protected.
unprotected,
Here's the
Hold on,
thing.
Unprotected.
y'all. Hold on.
Hold
Let
on,
Elder
y'all. Hold on.
finish.
No, I just
Y'all gotta
want
let
to
Elder
respond
finish,
to him.
man.
Let me respond. The reason why is listen what Herm said, and this is how the league feels. Who's going to give you anything? You don't have another team even willing to give you a pick. They're not giving their first up for him. The Lakers have need
Who?
for him. So if they can't for Vooch, they can use a real true center with Anthony Davis and let him play 4. And they like DeRozan. They look at him as a wing. Now, I think we need a true wing because DeRozan's a 2 to me, really. You know what I'm saying? But they would do that because DeRozan will come home. If I got a team on the hook and I can talk them into giving me, and that's why I said I wouldn't take a super protected. Like if they telling me top lottery protected, hell no, I'm not doing that. But if it got down to just I got to get a pick 6 through 30, I think who's going to give me better? I don't see any team out there giving more than that for Vooch. I don't. Because think about this. The teams that would want Vooch to help them, they're already contenders. So you know that pick's going to be between 20 and 30. You already know that. So here's a chance I got a potential to get a pick that could be number 6. That's why I said that. If the Lakers played hardball, they may give them an unprotected. But if they did and they didn't put too many protections, I'd take that. I would take that. I would take it if I was them. You got to get something. DeRozan, you didn't give up anything. You signed him as a free agent, but you getting that salary off your books. Then they love Lonzo. Let Lonzo come back and get healthy. You still got him, Caruso. You got some young pieces that you got money now that you can maybe get somebody to come over there. You see what I'm saying? And then you're going to have Russ money falling off the books. So, to me, this is the year. And I said this at the beginning of the year. The Bulls ain't going to do nothing. They need to do it now. This is when they need to do it. Because if they wait and they mess around and let Vooch go away, Then DeRozan's 1 year closer. So now teams are like, nah, he's older, and I may not get the value. I might as well wait. If he's interested in coming, why give up some kind of value for him? Man, I'm taking it because I don't think they're going to get nothing else from it.
See, I kind of disagree.
I believe the Warriors should go after Vooch.
I kind of disagree because if you already got a system in place, you have to have if you already got a system set up, like if you already got a team in place, like a core, like a Warriors, Lamont said, or like the Grizzlies with John Moran and those guys. If you already got a core in place, Vooch would be perfect. But if you ain't got no core, like the Lakers in shambles, they ain't really got nothing.
Mingo
Justice, if they do it or not.
Mingo Justice, I totally disagree with you on that because for one, y'all coach ain't even fully accepted. So this is the perfect time to do this.
Dump these guys. They under 500 is what I was saying, Elder. Your team,
what now?
Your team is under 500. So basically, what I'm saying is they're not even playing good now.
But you said, hold on, you said they don't have a system in place. They just hired a coach. What I'm saying is they just hired a coach that's going to be there for a while, though. They believe in Darvin Ham. He showed them enough now that they fine with. I mean, he's the perfect coach, but he definitely fits that mold. Like, if I'm them, I'm trying to go the route that Orlando's gone, Memphis is gone, what's the other team? OKC. These guys got these coaches that they like in place right now, younger coaches that they like in place, and letting them do their thing. But get rid of the dead weight. Because these older guys, they like, oh boy, they're now, was it Billy Donovan? Is that who's there now in Chicago? Is that who y'all coach is? Mm-hmm. They don't like him. It's obvious they don't like him. They don't believe in him. Get rid of Billy Donovan. Find that guy that's assistant, and everybody been saying he needs to be a new head coach. Get that dude. Bring him in, get rid of old weight, and then let him start afresh. Because right now, you in purgatory. To me, this is what NBA purgatory is. Where you teetering on playoffs, you have absolutely zero chance of winning the chip, but you're not bad enough to where you're going to fall way back in the lottery and then get good players to make you better. That's purgatory for them. And the only way you're going to get out of that is you got to you got to do a clean slate. I think they should fire their coach because I don't think he's good. I didn't like him at what's the name. I don't think he's good for y'all. Get rid of your coach. The young players you want to keep, resign them. The ones you don't, put them in packages. The Kobe White, if you ain't sold on him, put him in a package. Other teams like him, though. He's 6'5", he go-getter. But put him in a package if you ain't sold on him. But quit having all these guys around that are mediocre for you and ain't going to help your team do nothing. They not doing nothing this year. So you just pay the money. You pay Zach LaVine. You pay DeRozan. You let Vooch walk. I think that's horrible. And you still got a shitty coach that none of these guys like. That's how I look at the Bulls. They need to do it now.
Didn't they read Donovan up though?
Read who? Yeah,
I thought they gave him a new contract.
That's horrible. If they did, that's bad. If they did, that's bad. Because he's part of the problem.
I don't think he's the problem. I think what the Bulls went wrong with was that. And this is Donovan's fault too. But I think they made their
part
offense
of the problem.
Well, he's part, but I think they made their offense only functional with an elite point guard. And when Lonzo Ball went down, that offense couldn't function. And we've seen that ever since Lonzo Ball went down. When Lonzo Ball was healthy, they were one of the best teams in the East. As soon as he went down, they completely just fell off the map and they could not function offensively at all. And now we see it still going into it. He had a whole offseason to try to fix it and how to survive without Lonzo, and they cannot fix it.
I think there's more on the defensive end as well.
Lonzo was their best defender.
He was ahead of their defense. So that's why I said, if you love Lonzo, keep him. You got it. You know what I'm saying? Invest in him. Let him get healthy, but move all this dead weight that you got to pay a lot of money for while you're going through. I would rather have the flexibility and the asset. Give me the extra pick. Give me the cap space with Russ and guys like that falling off the books. Take Kobe White and turn him into a late first round pick or something. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of guys you can tell the Bulls are not 100
for Kobe White.
I said a late first, a late possibly. I'm saying if you can. I don't know. Or package him in a deal. Make him use him as a sweetener to move away some salary you don't want. to get something. I mean, there's ways to be creative, and there's honestly, from what I'm hearing, there's teams that actually like Kobe White. They just think he's in a bad system with the Bulls. They don't think the Bulls fit him. They think he could do better if he was on a different team. So I'm not sold on Kobe White either. I ain't seen enough of him, but you gotta like his athleticism. You gotta like his size. Was he 6'5"? I mean, he's versatile versatile combo guard. So somebody may bite on him. But my thing is make the decision on the ones you're keeping. Keep them. Make the ones that ain't part of your future. I think now is the time to get rid of them. And I'm sad if they re-sign Billy because that problem gonna be there. Billy Donovan is not a championship level coach in the NBA. He's just not. He's not that dude, in my opinion. He's not that guy. I don't think the players respect him on that level either. So I don't know what they'll do. If they got him, all that other stuff is irrelevant. It really is.
Hey,
it is.
Oaktown, Poole's contract doesn't kick in until next year, but you can count his salary in a trade. If the Warriors traded Poole, they could look at his money. The team, they could like it. Let's say, and I know this won't happen. Just for example, if they were like saying they wanted to trade Jordan Poole straight up for Vucevic, they could use Jordan Poole's money he's making next year to match Vucevic's salary to make the trade work straight up.
That's that poison pill thing you're talking about, right? Or Paul Gilbert poison pill where his salary's super low and it's high next year. That's tricky though.
It gets tricky, but they could make that deal work like with the poison pill clause or something. Some weird clause, but yeah, they can make it work.
That's tricky. That's very tricky. I agree with you, Dumont, though, that Golden State needs a big man. They need a good, decent passing big man that can. He don't have to be 3 blocks a game, but he does have to be some sort of a rim protector, some sort. You know what I mean? Where he'll get in your way and challenge you on shots. He ain't got to be the greatest shot blocker, but he needs to be a good passer to be in their system. That's what made old boy the number 1 pick. He was a good passer.
And I think the Warriors' strength has started becoming their weakness because I think they've been rewarding too many players that have helped them in the past with contracts. So with Looney, as good as Looney was last year, and then to reward him with a new deal this year, I mean, this is the evil side of basketball where sometimes you might have to let a player like that walk to get better. And I think holding on to the Iguodalas and the Loonies is what's holding them back, that loyalty to those guys. But, I mean, it could pay off in the end. They haven't went wrong with those moves, but this year it just ain't working out.
I would say that because the young guys just ain't developed the way they need them to. Yeah. They're not fitting the Warrior system. That's the biggest problem, not Looney and those guys. Because you got to be loyal to those guys because when you want free agents and other guys to come, they have to see that the guys that put in the work, raise their game, help you win, you got to take care of them guys. This year, they took that gamble and let some of the older veterans go that they didn't want to pay and brought in younger guys hoping that they would step up. You know, they brought in DiVincenzo, then they wanted to give Moody, Wise, all these guys minutes, Kuminga, they just ain't stepped up, bro. You can see it out there. They athletic, they this, but they ain't the same team defensively when them guys is out there, bro. And that's what's killing them. Otto Porter was a good defender and a good 3-point shooter. Gary Payton Jr., man, that brother, or Gary Payton, whatever, is the third, whatever, he did a lot for them. When he clamped down anything on the perimeter moving like that, that's the main person, in my opinion, they should have resigned. They should have gave him.
They could have gave him a little bit more. They didn't. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, they was gonna have to pay him like $33 million. Y'all think Gary Payton worth that much?
For what he was doing with them, bro?
Yeah. For what he was doing, yeah. He made them much better. You got to think he made them a lot better.
He clamping down that best guard for 20 to 25 minutes a night. He wearing them out. He's super athletic. He's super strong, and offensively, he didn't hurt you. He hit a 3 or 2, two or three threes for you. So, but that's so valuable. Like now, they don't have that.
Wow.
They don't. So they're trying to lean back to Clay. They're trying to lean to Wiseman. I mean, not Wiseman. What's his name? Wiggins. He hurt now. Clay still ain't. He ain't never be the same defensively. He may get back off of it. He ain't gonna never be the same defensively. So they don't have that guard. They don't have that guy. Poole's a horrible defender. Horrible.
I understand. I understand that, Elder. But even they weren't going to pay him directly $33 million, but just with the with them being with the taxes and stuff, that's how much Golden State was gonna come out of.
Is
And
that what?
so
Is that what? What's the name? What did he get paid?
It was
Where
the
did Gary
luxury
Payton
tax
go?
number that was going to hit the
Where did
Warriors
he?
if they
Where
did
did he
it.
go? Where did Gary Payton go?
The
To what
Blazers.
team?
he went to the Blazers. And
How
he
much
hasn't
y'all
even
paying
played a
him?
game yet.
How much y'all playing?
They only offered him like maybe $5 million more than the Warriors. It wasn't a ton more.
But
Here I can check right now.
but
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, I
That's
don't
probably
see
why, because he did have that injury. I forgot. You're right, my brother. He did have that
yes.
injury. So they
So
probably was
even
like,
if
we're gonna miss him for half the year anyway. So I get it.
even if he was on the team this year, I mean, they would still struggle because he's
Yeah, because he hadn't
unplayable at the
played.
moment.
So he's only
It's,
he's only making 3 years. 3 year. He's on a 3 year, $8 million deal.
8 per.
Yeah, 8 per.
So 3 year, 24 million, bro. You got to resign that dude for that kind of money. You've got to. He definitely would have signed that for them, or even less. Most of the time, they might have got him for a little bit cheaper.
The Warriors did offer him a little less than that. He turned it down.
Okay, well, I got to match that. If he's telling me that he wants to stay, he got to be telling me that, and he wants $8 million a year. I'm giving him $8 million, bro.
Yeah, I'm
to
giving
me,
it to him.
His defense alone is worth that, and I would have waited for him to get ready for the season. You know, I'd have been because that second half is when we want to kick in and play our best ball anyway. So I would have done that. I would not have let him walk for $8 million. He was that valuable. It's not like the Lakers. The Lakers is poor. They don't have the money.
Yeah.
They had to choose between Taylor Horton Tucker and Alex Caruso. You see what I'm saying? A lot of folks said the Lakers chose the wrong person. But the way their finances are, they already knew they couldn't keep both.
I just don't see Gary Payton giving Portland the same production that he gave Golden State, because they knew he was right in that system. I mean, he was on so many teams and he never panned out. It was only until he came to Golden State. And everybody got to remember, CP2, he's older. I think he's
it's kind of similar though to what he had in Golden State, because he got two guards. Yeah, I think he's gonna fit well with Portland.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna slide right in. And when you need to clamp somebody down, take one of them guys out, let them rest, and let GP go in there and put the glove on it.
That's exactly what I said. I'm thinking that's like the same situation.
Yeah,
it's like almost you got a small guard in the front in the backcourt that needs help defensively.
That's nothing today, though, y'all. Literally, though, really, $8 million. That's really not a lot for a specialist. He's a specialist on that defensive end.
But Elder, that $8 million for the Warriors would have really been like 25 because of the luxury tax hit.
What did they pay DiVincenzo?
They gave him pennies on the dollar. They gave DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo has, I got it right here actually,
4 or 5, something like that.
I think he's on a vet minimum.
2 year, a 2 year, $9 million contract.
So he got $4.5 million.
Yep, 4.5 a year.
So they got him for half the money, but you're getting half the player. Honestly, he ain't he okay, but he ain't old boy defensively. He ain't no specialist in nothing.
Yeah.
He's just a solid all around guy, but he ain't a specialist in nothing. And he was coming off major injury, so I wouldn't expect his defense to be top flight. You know. So, and old boy's way more athletic, even though DiVincenzo may be an inch or two taller. Gary Payton is way more athletic than him, bro. So I don't know. I mean, again, don't come talking crap then, Golden State, because I saw that when them guys was up there talking about, oh, we paying everybody coming back. And then as soon as I like, man, Porter gone, what's the name gone, Payton gone. I'm like, what the hell? I thought you was bringing everybody back. Don't talk all that crap and like you long dollars and then you still want a penny pinch now. You still got a $500 million payroll. Shoot. Well, what the hell? Or it's crazy what you paying anyway. Don't tell me a couple more dollars ain't gonna, man. Again, you got to keep your camaraderie. You got to understand the things that are extremely valuable to your stars. I guarantee old boy wasn't happy with that. They know them guards know how much they needed Gary Payton. I guarantee.
Curry, they said Curry went up to him and tried to sway them to stay.
They said Draymond and all those guys called him trying to get him to commit, but he was like, I have to get. He said, I haven't got a payday yet. He says, I got to get every penny I can get.
And you have to do that, Lamar. When you're in a guy like Gary Payton's situation, you got to get your payday.
Bro, he been grinding for years. He can't pass up on a dime when it's time to get paid.
I don't blame him at all.
I
Them
can't.
bookers could have offered. They could have offered me $1 million more. I'd have been gone.
Even if they would have
Flat out.
added an extra year onto it, the money could have been the same. They could have just added an extra year and spread it out over time. They could have done something to make sure to make up for the money, but
Bingo.
I would have found a way to keep him. There was no way.
Yeah.
That would have been my number one priority. Keep Gary Payton at all costs.
Well, he's young enough. They could have done like they get a 324. They could have done like a 4-year 30.
Yeah, I would have just added an extra year. I would have lowered the year number. I would have just said how many years you need, bro. We just got to keep.
And if you make it and you probably could have made it a team option with him.
I would have said let's make it a player option in case you outplay it, and then we can redo it.
Yeah,
man, you got to convince him. No, you got to give him something because he gave them a whole bunch, and he played through injury.
He sure did.
In the finals, he could have just not came back in the finals. He came back and played through injury.
Yeah.
Just Iggy does vlogs. What he say? He says don't know where he getting it, but they need more young talent in Portland. Hold on, they need more young talent.
That's all they got.
Yeah,
all they got is
young talent. We don't
have anything but.
Yeah, we don't need no more young talent. No,
y'all don't have anything but young talent. That's all you got. And Dame Lillard. Everybody else is young. Everybody under 30 on that team except Dame.
Man, that's
which is young for him though. For Gary being 30, different because he ain't got the miles and all that. He had to grind to get in the league, so he ain't got 7. Most guys at 30 now they got 8-9 years of being pounded on. He ain't got that. So he's
Elder, he hurt right now. He can't even get on the court right now.
Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt from last year. I understand. Yeah. I'm just saying he don't have the miles. Like you go look at the average guy been in the league at 30. They came in at 19 or 20. I don't know how old Gary was, but he didn't come in the league at that age. So he don't have all that pounding that those guys got. So to me, I look at him as a younger 30 because he just don't have the miles. He ain't played the minutes. He ain't played the games. So I'm not concerned about his 30. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I got a guy that was a first round pick and he been starting since year 2
Hold
or
on,
3.
Gary Payton is 30?
That's what he just said. Which but he came to the league late. He didn't come in right away. He had to grind and go through everything. Yeah. So he ain't played the games is what I'm saying. He don't have the miles that most 30-year-olds got.
That is another true. Yeah, he's a young player.
There's another guy I'm thinking of that's a really good player now, and he just turned like 30. And he young too, because I'm like, he didn't come in the league right away. You know, I can't remember who it is right now. Yeah, Tucker came in late too.
Yeah, he spent 4 years where I think he was at Oregon State. He think he did 4 or 5 years in college too.
He said, I want Dame in Chi-Town. I bet you do. I bet you do.
So Lamont, what role you think Gary Payton's gonna play on Portland Trailblazers?
Same role he did with. I think he went to the most ideal situation where he could just duplicate what he did with Golden State, because he don't have to worry about scoring. You got Dame that's gonna do that at a high level. He just needs to supplement what Dame doesn't do well. Dame doesn't defend well. He supplements that. Right. He just needs to get out of the open court. You know, when Dame gets to cooking and teams overplay, he's in there to make them athletic plays at the rim or even knock down an open 3, just like what Elder said. He doesn't have to do anything different. He just needs to do what he's been doing. He don't have to add. I mean, he's obviously going to add to his game and make it a little bit better. But as far as his role, he just needs to have the same exact role. Just go out and defend, get in the open court and make plays. It's not a very difficult work. And look at his salary. That's what his salary is dictating he does. Just defend, go make plays. I mean,
the team he on, they can do that. They got some dogs that can get up and down that court. They do.
Sharp and Sharp is looking way better than I thought.
I love that dude, bro.
The crazy thing is, when he was with Dream City last year here in Arizona, we played them. And we beat him by 30. And I was convinced he was not it. So I was super upset when we drafted him, because I'm thinking, we beat them by 30 and it was kind of easy. So, man, I don't know if he was holding back or what, but
probably wasn't motivated. But that boy got major game.
Nice.
He got major game. And his hops is stupid. He got a dunk in the Laker game that thing about made me flip out my chair. His thing came off the rim and he went up and got that thing so high, y'all. I mean, he looked like a dang helicopter up there in the air. God dang.
Bro, he natural bounce too. He floats. He floats.
He do. And he get buckets, man. He crafted around. I like that young dude. I like him. I remember when he got drafted because it was Kentucky or something. He didn't even get the player or whatever it was. but I remember this little story about him. But I was like, man, this dude, like, he can go. So I agree. Portland, they don't need young guys. They need vets. They need some vets to sprinkle in there for them now, because they got a bunch of young studs actually between Anthony Simons and old boy, and they got some young dudes that can go, man. I still like Nasir Little. I like him. I think he's a good piece to have. Yeah. So they got a good mix. It's just they gotta. That's why they're competing this year too. They just got to get the veteran mix and keep their star healthy.
But Elder, do you agree with that Dame contract? Like Dame in the second year of that new deal he signed, he's gonna be making I think $60 million.
Bro, that's why I don't want no parts of Dame if he decides to leave Portland, which I don't think he will. I don't. I'm telling you, I don't want no parts of like a guy like Dame, Bradley Beal. I don't want no parts of none of those guys, bro. They contracts will restrict and hinder you so bad, and they're, to me, unless you're the cream of the crop in the league, you're not worth that kind of money to me. Not to me, you're not. I like you would have. The only kind of guy is getting that money from me is a guy that has consistently and done it more than once, shown me he can lead my team to a championship. Mm-hmm. That guy I'll give the $50-60 million to. I will. I'm not giving that to a guy that's just a great player, but he hasn't taken me over the top. And that's why I told y'all they're going to trade Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal but gone this summer, y'all. He gone. If not by trade deadline. They're going to trade Bradley because I'm telling you, well, it's probably going to be in the summer because it's easier to match that kind of money in the summer. But Bradley Beal, that guy was not playing in Washington. He was like, we ain't giving out lifetime achievement awards over here, contracts. He got heavy expectation. And if he don't live up to it, there's going to be other discussions we have. I'm like, well, what the hell is that going to be? I already know. Nigga, you finna go. So I tell you, Washington, they probably finna trade Bradley Beal. Now, that's why they gave him, people say, well, they gave him a no trade. They did that to honor him and say, we're going to trade you, but you're going to get to kind of pick and decide where we send you. You know what I mean? Give you that leverage. But you're going to go. We're not going to keep you here paying you that money, and you can't lead us to the promised land.
I want to jump in real quick. I only think they trade him.
Hey, salute, my brother.
Salute. I only think they trade him if he goes to them and says, okay, now it's time. If it's a Paul George in OKC type situation. But I think his value to the franchise is such that they understand what he brings in terms of marketing and ticket sales and what he does in the community and all that stuff. I think it's a little bigger than basketball and their ability to win a championship with him. I think what they're going to want to see, honestly, is him and Kuzma and Porzingis, if they can figure out a way to fill out around that threesome first before they say, okay, let's consider, talking to him and his representatives about moving him, or an opportunity that may come up for him to be moved. But I don't think they're willing to do that the first year into this deal.
I get it. I disagree because I listened to that man out there. They was at the summer league, and he sounded to me like he meant business. And to me, they're another team that's just stuck in purgatory. They're not getting the super high draft picks because why? They're hanging around playoffs. They're hanging around the play-in level, all that. I don't see them being able to grow like that. And then it ain't like they long dollars either. So they're not going to have no $200+ million payroll down there in Washington, D.C. And it's hard enough to keep the people interested. I do believe the part where you said they love Bradley Beal. He's a great community guy and all that. But at the end of the day, I think Washington going to look and say, we paying this man $50+ million and we still suck. I think they're going to look at it purely like that. We still suck. And it don't make sense to have a guy on this team that makes that kind of money. And we're not even sniffing. We're not sniffing contending at all. Now we making a run. Yeah. Last second shot, we losing game 7 in the second round. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we right there. But these boogers can't make the playoffs, and when they do, they getting swept. So I will see. We'll see. I don't think they're gonna waste a bunch of money like that. And teams are gonna come calling because Bradley. A lot of these teams think Bradley is that piece that they need to get over the top.
Well, yeah, no disputing that. I'm not saying that teams won't call, and I'm not saying that if he went to the organization and his team was the organization and said, hey, listen, it's probably time to make this move, that they wouldn't respect him and make that move. I'm saying them as an organization, that's not what they're thinking right now. What they're thinking is,
I get you.
With Kuzma, Beal, and Porzingis, if we can get these three guys on the court and see what they do together, what we look like as a complete team with those three, that they may not. I'm not saying they're a championship contender because obviously Boston and Milwaukee are the cream of the crop in the East. But maybe they put themselves in a conversation where they're not a 10 seed. Maybe they're in that 5 or 6 conversation if those three guys are meshing well and they're playing well together. I just think they're not. I just don't think they're ready to do that this early into that deal. I think they want to see what this plays out. And Tommy Shepard, the GM, he's pretty calculated when it comes to that kind of stuff. He's not going to make a rush deal unless ownership says blow it up. And again, they need Bradley's approval to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he says, I'm going to read this dude thing. He said, I'm not trading Bradley Beal. That dude makes $50 million, but he don't get $50 million worth of games because he don't play nothing on the defensive side of the ball. So why would you not trade him then?
Well, I think he meant I'm not trading for Bradley Beal.
Oh, he said trading for him. I agree with you, brother, but a lot of these teams hold Bradley in a lot higher esteem than we do. I don't personally think Bradley Beal is even close to being a $50 million player. I don't. And I think Washington has a history of giving guys money that they shouldn't. They shouldn't have gave John Wall that kind of money. Again, to me, unless the man has gotten me, like if John Wall would have pressed that team and got them to the Eastern Conference Final, then I might have been able to justify it in my mind. But a guy that can't lead me through a serious playoff run, ain't no way in hell I'm giving him a supermax deal. Now, I don't care how much the fans like him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him that deal and get all the assets back when I trade him. I'll be smart like that. You know what I'm saying? Their mindset, and my brother that was talking there, I agree with you. That is Washington's mindset, but I think that's part of their problem. And that's why I was a little triggered when I heard Shepard talking, because he's very calculated. And he made it clear, we ain't giving out Lifetime Achievement Award. This contract comes with expectations. And when I saw that no trade clause, I said, see, I know how teams do this. They plan on I would not be surprised if Washington told him, if we don't elevate, we will be looking to trade you. Because we can't have you on the team making this kind of money and we're not getting better. You elevate us, we're gonna want to keep rocking with you. But if not, we're gonna need to move on. But we're gonna respect you and honor you and let you decide where you go. And that's how they guaranteed it. And they have to do that as a smaller market team, because if players look out and say, man, they did Bradley Beal wrong, you ain't never getting another guy want to go to Washington and stay. Nobody wants to go to Washington, D.C. now.
Right.
Think about it. Nobody really wants to go there now. Right. So you have to do that to keep the reputation, the PR good in the league with the players, because believe me, the players are talking all the time. And, what you will be stuck doing is giving guys that are B-level guys A-level money is what you'll be stuck doing. That's what you'll be stuck if you don't take care of folks.
And I think the bigger issue with Washington is the rest of their roster. They have some guys that will be movable and will be attracted to some teams, like Barton, for example.
Yeah.
There's teams to be interested in a guy like that. I'm not sure about Hachimura, where they are with him yet. And Denny Avia, but some young pieces that they could package and maybe go out and get somebody else to add to kind of that threesome that they wanna build around and see. I just think again for them, it's they really got to play the long game, particularly because Bradley hadn't been healthy this season. And until they see what that looks like, I think it's going to be. The purgatory in the NBA exists because of how the rules and the CBA and the luxury tax is set up. Most of these teams understand either, you're competing for a championship or you really want to suck. But if you're going to suck, at least have somebody that people will pay to come see, because empty seats do nothing for your franchise. And I think
agree with that.
They view Bradley Beal is he can fill seats. He is a guy they view as an arena filler for them. Is he a A+ player? No. But he is a seat for them. So
I get that, and that is important. I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Shoot, I think they should get Russ back. Them fans love Russ out there. They love the way he play. He still fills seats, believe it or not. You know, I think teams like Washington, the Knicks, the Bulls. I think teams like that are missing out on a guy like Russ. Because one thing you're gonna get is a guy come to work every single day. He's gonna play hard. He's gonna put up stats. And if you give him the reins, he at least gonna drag you to the playoffs. If you turn it over to him, he's proven he's gonna drag you to the playoffs. I think teams like that, if you in that type of thing, I think they're missing out on a guy like Russ. I do. I think they're missing out.
But
I
how did the Lakers, if they trade him, with how good he's been playing, how do you replace that production? Like I don't know if any trade out there is going to replace what he does now.
Well, the production gets spread out because the main production. I'm gonna tell you now. You're not talking about the scoring because that's gonna be easy because Russ is still a bad shooter. Even in all this good play, his shooting percentage sucks. He's still not shooting the ball well, y'all. Overall, I'm talking about. He's not. He had that little stint for 4 or 5 games, 5, 6 games where his 3-point shooting was like, oh, he's shooting 3 a game though. But other than that, he really not good at shooting the ball still. He's still bad at decision making. The one thing you're talking about is the assist. This is why I want a guy like Mike Conley. This is why I want guys like that to come in too. Because the assist is what's going to have to go up. So you may not be the greatest assist guy, but I need a guy that's very comfortable passing the ball into the post. Learn how to get better angles and get that ball to big man. Because let's just keep it real. I got to keep an eye about Russ. One thing Russ knows how to do is get that ball to big men, kick out for threes. He definitely knows how to do that. So I'm looking to get a guy that can do that, or a guy that can relieve LeBron so he can do that more. That's another reason I like a guy like Bogey. I can move LeBron to the facilitator role if I have a guy offensively in that lineup like Bogey. I can move him more to the facilitating role. But if I just don't have that guy, now what you do is load up on AD, load up on LeBron, and let the rest of these guys shoot bricks all day. I need a bona fide guy in there to open it up, and then LeBron can shift his role a little bit and become more of a passer than having to score all the time. So Russ is the reason why the Lakers are top 3 in pace. I agree with that, Sturdy. That's true. And some of these other teams got these young guys, but they ain't running. I mean, look at the Clippers got all this. I think it's a shame. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Bless you, my brother. I think it's a shame. The Clippers got all that talent, and they're one of the worst offenses in the NBA. That should never be. And you're one of the best shooting teams, but your pace and your scoring is horrible. I'm watching them. I'm like, man, they struggling to score. That with that talent, it shouldn't be. That's bad coaching. The offensive scheme sucks. Too much one-on-one basketball, and you need a floor general. You need a facilitator that can tell folks, get here, get them the ball there. And it's tough. I'm saying it like it's 50 of them out there. It's not. I'm not. It ain't a ton of facilitators anymore in the game. Everybody just want to run and shoot. So, yeah, I think Russ has value now. I do. The way he's playing now in the summer, no. When he was hard-headed, doing his own thing, no. But even then, I told you teams he could go to and be viable. Washington, New York Knicks. He could be viable on those teams. But the Bulls, I think the Bulls could use him. I actually agree with my guy Chilltown. I could see where he would really help Minnesota. He would. He would help Minnesota run.
Russ?
Yep. My guy Chilltown.
I just can't picture that with Edwards. Yeah,
I don't think Edwards going to have a hard. This is the thing that Russ does and what Edwards would like. Those guys want to run. They know running gets more possessions. So Edwards is going to be fine as long as he's running and getting his numbers. He's going to get his touches. You see what I'm saying? And with both of them out there as athletic and fast as they are, it's going to open up the floor. Then you got these big men. Well, get Rudy out and put old boy at the 5. With that team, that's dangerous because now you got a big man that stretches the floor. He's the best shooter on the damn floor. You see what I'm saying? I could easily see that. And them lanes going to open up for Russ and Edwards. They're going to open up.
So you think it helps him that Karl Anthony Towns isn't a pick and roll big? He's just a space, like he's more of a spacing big. He's not really good at a pick and roll.
What I would do with him, I would never roll him. I would pop him. Yeah. And even if they cover the pop, now the lane is open. So I got Edwards and I got Russ. If I do the Russ thing, I got them going to the lane. They can score. I'm good with that. I wouldn't use him as a roller. I do that with Gobert because he's a beautiful
pick and roller. Gobert is a beautiful pick and roller. So if he coming up, everybody gonna know Gobert rolling, but you still gotta stop it. You still gotta stop it. And they know if I'm doing Edwards. I mean, the other dude, Cat, he's popping, but you still gotta stop it. You still gotta do something about it. And I don't think with their talent level, I don't think teams can do nothing about it. Because if you cover old boy, Russ and Edwards gonna get to the rim. If you try to cover Russ and them and do the drop, old boy gonna be wide open. He don't need a lot of space. So I just think it's mismatches once you get these type of talents together. When he first said it, my first thought was, man, come on, bro. No. Then I processed it, thought about it, because I see the way D'Lo play. He really don't fit what they're doing. I know he may be cool with Cat, but he's killing the pace of the game. He's trying to facilitate, but he's not that ultimate facilitator yet. And they make a lot of bonehead decisions. They just do let them go fast. I think that team needs to play. Them and the Clippers both need to play faster, in my personal opinion. They play too slow.
I agree.
They play way too slow. Yep. And my thing is this: you're not re-signing old boy. You know this, right? You're not going to re-sign him. I already can tell that. I don't think they're going to re-sign D'Lo. So bring in Russ. Pick up the pace. If say it don't work, let's just say it goes south and it doesn't work. You ain't got nothing right now, no way. But say it goes south, well, now you just got $47 million falling off your books, and you got rid of a player that you don't have to re-sign, that you wasn't looking to re-sign anyway.
But even if that 45, even if that money fall off the books, like who's wanting to go to Minnesota for free agency?
You possibly could get somebody. Now you may have to do a little overpay, possibly. But these guys have relationships in the league. If a guy thinks he's that piece and you're going to give him that shine, these guys will go anywhere, bro. Honestly, they will. Look, like Jeremy, he's not the guy now. I'm just going to use him as an example. Jeremy Grant, Turner in Indiana, these guys wanted to be featured. They felt like the way their teams were structured, they could not be seen. You put a guy like that in a position where they can be the second or third guy where they can be seen, they may come. That may be the piece you need. And I'm not saying those guys are good for Minnesota. I'm just using guys as examples that are very good players that feel like on the positions they were in, they were not being featured. You see what I'm saying? So those guys, you got a lot of guys in the league like that. If they think, oh, wow, that's a good situation for me to get shine, you see what I'm saying? And especially if they got a year or two left on their contract and they know they can go in and ball and then it's time to re-sign them, they finna get that bread. Oh, them guys will go. They'll play in Minnesota. They don't care. They don't care. As long as that organization is known for taking care of them. You see what I'm saying?
But they have him, though. I mean, you seen the Wiggins situation. You seen the Jimmy Butler situation.
Yeah.
I don't think players really trying to go play with them guys like that.
I think all that, though, bro, honestly, when the Butler and all, that was more coaching. Just, you know what I'm saying? That was just Jimmy went there and he had a mindset. And them guys wasn't on that level, bro. Jimmy want to win. And Jimmy,
if they would have bought into what Jimmy was doing, that would have been one of the most unstoppable teams in the league.
I agree.
If they buy in. There was too much talent there.
I think if Jimmy went there now, it'd be different. Them guys were much younger than y'all. I'm being honest. They were much younger. I don't think they were as mature as they are now. I can't judge a guy at 22 and then look at him when he's 26, 27 and say he's the same dude. He's not. Mm-hmm. I think a guy like Jimmy Butler that understands people a little bit better and ain't gonna come at you sideways, make you want to go upside his head, he may help him more. You see what I'm saying? But I just, for me, I'm not gonna take on all this salary like these teams have, give up everything I gave up to be mediocre. I cannot be satisfied with that. Once you commit to that, you got to go all the way. See, when I saw the Gobert thing, I said they're married. They're married to this. This is what they believe is going to work. When you see something clearly is not going to work, it's your job to make a move. It's your job to make a move. And a lot of times I hate it with these GMs because they kind of feel like the move has to be the home run right there. The successful teams, Boston, Miami, Golden State, they have shown you, and I ain't even named my Lakers, y'all notice that, but them teams have shown you, it may not be that first move you make. It may be move 2, 3, or 4. It may be a move you do here that frees up space to bring in this guy from the G League. And he comes up and fills a role. Oh, now I ain't got to do nothing here. So now I got the power to make a move over here. But you can't look at it and say, like, that's the thing I got with the Lakers. Giving up these picks
I'm saying to anybody, why does first round picks got to guarantee you championships? Why do you have to compete for a championship with a first round pick? Because I don't see nobody drafting first round picks, especially when they late round, and saying this guy, they drafted him, we should be able to make the finals this year. He ain't gonna be the reason you make the finals, and you ain't drafting him with that in mind. So I don't understand, why do you got to make a move, and the move you make to get rid of these picks that are 5 and 7 years down the road, that move has to be the best move to make you win right now. I don't understand that. I don't get that. I don't get
maybe
that.
the Lakers not trying to win right now. Maybe they trying to look into the future.
Again, I agree, but I look at that move. I'll never stop looking at that move that Golden State did when they got D'Lo. Is that look? They got Kevin Durant on free agency, y'all. They didn't give up anything for Kevin Durant. They just signed him. But think about it. They were smart enough to get something for him when he decided to leave on free agency again. They got an asset, and they took that asset and turned it into two very good assets. They got Wiggins back, who helped them win a championship, and they got Kuminga, was the draft pick they got, y'all. Now they can move. If they don't like Kuminga, they can move him. You telling me Kuminga don't have value in the league right now? Most teams feel like Golden State don't know what the hell they're doing with him. They would easily give a first-round pick for Kuminga now. But you got an asset, and you can sit on it. You don't got to make a move, but it's yours and it's there. If you just let him walk, what do you have? But if they didn't see, let's get something. We got D'Lo. That ain't going to work. You got Clay. You got this. Doesn't matter. We move D'Lo for a piece that fits with Clay now. And a few years after that, you win a chip with that piece. The good ones, Jerry West is up, they think like this. They not all sold on, this deal's got to be the one. This deal has to be no, this deal could be the setup deal for the setup deal. And I hate that most GMs get away from that.
Well, remember, too, part of it with the Durant thing was that Durant actually worked with them to do that. He didn't have to do that technically because Brooklyn had money outright to sign him. So part of it is, what is the relationship like with an outgoing player where you can do what they were able to do? It was a very smart move on their part because they knew they were going to be without Clay for the season because of the ACL in the finals. But also, it was a situation where it's like, listen, if we think D'Lo was coming off an All-Star year, he had value around the league coming off the All-Star year, and they were able to flip him. And Minnesota was desperate enough to move off of Wiggins and an unprotected first-round pick that they were able to flip. It's just every team doesn't do that, but it started with Durant saying, "I'm going to work with you all to make sure you get something for me, and not just leave y'all, high and dry."
And that benefits the player because he gets that extra year. Everybody wins in this deal. The Nets come off salary that they're not looking to re-sign this dude, and they don't have to keep his salary, which is a max slot salary. What's the name gets the extra year. The player gets the extra year, and then the teams get the assets that they want. So that's how trade should be. And again, they did that knowing, I just want to get an asset. This asset may not lead, and they didn't look good with D'Lo. That was some of their worst years, but they turned that into something in Wiggins. So now my thing is this: look, what if Minnesota says, "No, we good," and they still got Wiggins, and they would have used that pick for something they needed? What kind of team would they have been? You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of these moves are serious, man. They thought that move with Wiggins was the move they needed because old boy wanted to play with D'Lo. I ain't sold on D'Lo like that. He's a good player. I'm not sold on him as being the lead guard that's going to lead me to a championship. I'm not sold on that. They are, though, because they did that because, from what I heard, Karl-Anthony Towns, their best friends, or they went play ball together, whatever. He wanted them there. So they appeased their superstar. Their superstar wanted to bring in Rudy Gobert. They appeased their superstar. They got to figure it out eventually. Hey, it's either going to work or it's not. My thing is that if you're in a position, get something for the asset. Because honestly, I think the Lakers are going to screw up with Russ by not trading him. He's playing so good right now that they feel like there's no way, because of his play, we can't just give him up and pay someone to take him. His play has put past that. So they want to hold up. They may have a good deal for Russ, but they want that great deal for Russ. And I think it's going to cost them. They're going to get to the summer. One of these other teams are going to realize, no, we think Russ can help us. He's a seat He'll put people in the seat, and we can give him the reins, and they'll pay Russ, and he'll go there maybe even for less money for the simple fact that he gets the opportunity to prove himself again and show everybody. And he knows he's not gonna get that with the Lakers. He knows it. Now, I don't know what's up with Russ. Maybe he's changed his mind, and because I know he wants to be in LA. That was his whole goal to go in the Lakers, to be in LA. So I don't know what's gonna happen with these sensitive, volatile guys. I don't know. There ain't no telling. These guys are sensitive. They Ralph Tresvant to me. Shoot, man. That's why Lamont like him. That's why Lamont. That's why he like him. He's sensitive like that too. Lamont be all sensitive half the time.
Hold on,
he like that too.
Who are you talking about?
I just messing with you, Lamont. I was playing with you.
No, I'm saying what player? What player? Because
all of them. I was talking about Russ, but all these boogers are sensitive. That's why it's hard to tell what they gonna do. And I said you sensitive just like them boogers.
They just got options, sir. They just got options.
Yeah, they do. But again, I think if I'm a team, I'm always thinking asset. I want to control the asset. Russ can lead to me three. I gave up 4 great assets for Russ. I gave up a first round pick and 3 good players.
Yeah.
I want to get at least 3 good players back.
I don't know if you get that.
I think you can. I can get 3 good players or 2 above average players. Again, if I go get Vucevic and I go get DeRozan, are they not 2 above average players?
I know, but when you're trading a guy like Russ, I mean, you have to understand that there's going to have to be give and take on both sides. The team is taking Russ. Obviously, they're taking the money and the expiring deal. But you guys have to understand there may be out of the 3 players that you get, it might only be 1 player that you're truly interested in. The other 2 might just be filler. And it may be, something. I think you just to expect a perfect package with Russ, I don't. And then from what I'm hearing, Jeannie Buss don't want to trade Russ anymore. I heard she's in love with Russ.
She's a female. Emotional is stupid, bro. I'm telling you. She's stupid, bro. But think about this, though. Lamont, go off what you said. Washington traded for 3 guys and a draft pick, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How many of those people are still with Washington right now? Well, half of them gone. You know that Montrezl Harrell ain't there. And you know that old boy's already been traded. KCP already been traded. I can't remember who that draft pick was. I can't remember. I have to go back and look. He may not be there, though. So, at worst case scenario, only half the guys in the Russ trade 2 years ago are still with Washington. But they've used it to get other assets. They used KCP to get other assets. Old boy just became cap relief. That's all he became. But that becomes an asset if you want to sign another player.
Well, I think
you have to control the asset. If you just let Russ walk away from this, literally, if you just get to the end of the season, I don't care how good the Lakers do, and you just let Russ walk away, that is mismanagement in my personal opinion. You have to control the asset. You have to.
I think the Lakers would be interested in trading Russ, but I think the greater issue is any team that takes Russ on isn't just doesn't just want the expiring contract. They want 1 or both of those first-round picks in 27 and 29 if they're giving up matching salaries to get Russ to take Russ on, because most teams with a cap relief, they want those future picks, which
I get it
be very high. So I think if you're the Lakers and Russ is playing the way he is, I don't think the motivation is necessarily there to trade Russ at this point. Now, obviously, you're going to have to figure out in the offseason, what do? Do you bring him back at a more team-friendly deal like Philadelphia did with Harden this year? Or do you say, hey, well, listen, we'll use you, we'll work with you in a sign and trade to do something with that?
No, bro. That's I want to cut you off there real quick. Sorry to cut you off. That's not an option. Season over. You can't sign and trade. He's a free agent.
They can work with him if he's a free agent and they have his bird rights because they traded for him. They can work with him in a sign and trade deal.
No, that's not how that works, my brother.
That's exactly how that works.
Okay. All right.
I think Sean might be right.
He is he's an unrestricted. As soon as the season ends, he is an unrestricted free agent. There is no sign and trade with an unrestricted free agent.
That's how
No.
If you have the person's bird rights, you can do that. That's what I'm telling you. That's how the Golden State was able to do that with Kevin Durant.
They didn't trade for Kevin Durant.
No, they had.
No, he was a free. They didn't have it. No, you have to trade. Hold on.
They traded Kevin Durant
after 3 years. After 3
I
years,
I understand that. But Kevin Durant was still under contract. Y'all remember? That's the player option on that year.
No,
Russ's contract. Let me finish. Kevin Durant has that player option on that year to accept or to leave. He can become that. Russ don't have no player option. This is the last year of the contract. The actual total contract is done.
Okay,
it is done.
So here's
and see Kevin Durant. They didn't have his bird rights because Kevin Durant didn't come over there on the trade. He came over there as a free agent. Remember when all that extra money came? They just signed him. They didn't have his bird right, but they did that. Hold on. Go ahead.
It says you can re-sign. If you can re-sign its own free agent, then immediately send them to another team in exchange for players and draft picks. I mean, it says right here you can do it. I think.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that you cannot re-sign him in trade. I'm not saying that. I'm saying though he was a sign and trade is typically when you have a restricted free agent. That's when a sign and trade kicks in.
No,
Durant was under. People got to go back and look. Durant was actually under contract.
No, he wasn't. Under
Here's what
he was. He had an option on his deal. He opted out, which made
he opted out and became a free agent, and then agreed to a sign and trade.
He agreed
to help the Warriors
as an unrestricted free agent.
Because what happened? What happens? I'm gonna try to tell you what happened with Kevin Durant. What he did was, I guarantee you go look at that contract he re-signed with Golden State was an extension. And then they just traded him to what's the name? That's what happened. Because he has a player option. So he re-signed with Golden State, or really just signed an extension with Golden State, and then they traded him. Again, I'm going to go back and look at the details of it because I'm almost positive that's how it works. We don't have to argue about the semantics. I guess what I'm getting at is this. I'm not looking to do that with Russ because, again, I take a major chance in that because we all agree he has the option to just walk away and say no. He can just walk away. He's not under the take the option or re-sign or become a free agent. His contract is over. He's already opted in on the option year. This is his option year. So he just automatically becomes an unrestricted free agent. He can re-sign with the Lakers. They probably can trade him then. But what sense does that make for a team? Why does a team do that? Why wouldn't you just sign him? Why wouldn't you just sign him? Why would you do that to help the Lakers? To me, I wouldn't do that.
Well, again,
I wouldn't do that.
It depends on what the team that he's trying to get to is looking for in terms of his, like if it can be it's a way for them to manipulate the cap. It's also a way for them to create potentially a partial trade exception depending on what the deal looks like. So there's little stipulations in the CBA when you do a sign and trade that allow for that. And again, going back, just taking it back in 2000 when Grant Hill went to Orlando, that was a sign and trade. He signed a 7-year, $93 million deal with the Pistons in the sign and trade. The Pistons get back a couple of players, including Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace wasn't making anywhere near that amount of money, but it created space for the Pistons with their cap. So there's stipulations in the CBA that allow for that. That's how it works.
I understand that. I thought Grant Hill was already with the Pistons, so I thought that deal he signed was an extension, not a new deal.
Yeah,
he extended his, because I think that was the max you could do it back then was 7 years to extend back then. You can't do that now. But he was already on the Pistons under contract.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't? Who was he playing for?
He was a free agent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know rules have changed. I know rules have changed since then because you can't even do 7-year deals now. So
you know
rules have changed big time.
Yeah, but principally, a lot of the same things apply. Now they've added in some things, obviously now like the biennial exception.
Hey, tell Lamont, tell McDuff to send that money, that money to your Cash App because he said the Lakers ain't making the playoffs. I disagree with him. I'll match him. Tell him to send it. Whatever you send a Lamont, I'll match it, Mac. There, they gonna make the playoffs. Why? I've seen enough to believe it. Now I've seen enough. I know they got a lot of crap they fighting, but I've seen enough, and I ain't impressed with nobody in the West. I ain't impressed really with nobody in the West. Nobody in the West scares me. If the Lakers do what they need to do with the minor roster moves to balance that roster out, and the guys stay healthy, I ain't scared of none of the teams in the West. None of them.
But
now the way the roster. Go ahead, man.
But Elder, my question to you would be: can the Lakers beat any of them teams you're not scared of?
Can they what now?
Can the Lakers beat any of those teams you're not scared of?
I believe they can. Yes. Again, listen to what I said though. I'm not sold on this roster being a championship roster. They have to make minor moves to balance out that roster. You cannot keep having 6'1" and 6 foot guys in Schroeder and Beverly be your best perimeter defenders. Can't be that. Get wings in there. So if they make minor moves and bring in
what
wings,
if they don't make no moves? So what if they don't make no moves?
I don't trust that roster. I don't to win. I don't trust that roster to win. I do trust that roster to win some playoff games and maybe a couple series. I do.
Okay.
It depends on a lot of it depends on the matchups though. If we get a matchup where the team is wing heavy, we in trouble. Like their best players are wings, we in trouble. But there are teams out there where their best players are not wings. You know what I mean? They got their best players are guards or big men. You know, like say we draw Denver. Oh, I'm more than confident the Lakers can beat Denver. More than confident. They can beat Denver easy. I'm just being honest. I'm more than confident they can beat Denver. Yeah. I'm actually not afraid of the Lakers. I'm actually not even afraid of the Lakers playing Memphis, believe it or not. I'm not. I know their guards are dynamic. Their guards are definitely dynamic, but I'm not afraid of them. I'm not gonna lie. If everybody's healthy, I'm not afraid of Memphis. I'm not.
Okay. It sounds good now. All that what you said sounds definitely good.
I'm just saying, and I'm taking both teams. I'm taking both teams fully healthy. I'm talking about Memphis got Jaren Jackson Jr. They got Ja, and they got Bane. And I'm saying the Lakers, you know, Russ gonna be healthy, but you got LeBron, you got AD healthy, everybody healthy. I'll take the Lakers in those series. I will. They ain't got no back-to-backs. They don't have no back-to-backs. They could, bro. I definitely, because none of those teams got anything to do with Anthony Davis. They can't stop him. None of those teams can. They got no answer for Anthony Davis. I'm not as concerned. Like, say we get Portland. I wouldn't be concerned with Portland either. They got dynamic guards. I know they do. But they're wing, and they got a good wing. They got a very good wing, but they're not heavy in wings. You see what I'm saying? They're not heavy.
I think the Lakers will be worried about teams like the Clippers or something like that.
Because they got so many wings.
Yeah, I mean,
the Clippers. Honestly, right. I'd be more afraid of Utah. Now, I think they may be able to get past them young dudes, but I don't like their length and their wings, bro. With Utah, they got some young guys that are long at wings. I don't like it. I don't like it. Not against the Lakers. I don't like marketing 7 foot self. I don't like Vanderbilt. I don't like them wings, bro. I don't like what they got over there.
I think Portland will beat the Lakers in a 7-game series.
You know, I hope we get a chance to fill it.
Portland wouldn't beat the Lakers in a 7-game series.
I don't think they would either.
Beat the Lakers. I think they would.
I don't know what Portland has done this year that would lead you to believe they could beat the Lakers in a 7-game series.
I ain't said they would win a championship. Listen to what I'm saying. I said they would beat the Lakers. That wasn't a title.
I'm just saying, Portland's the right team. Portland can, if this was an NCAA tournament style and it was 1-game elimination,
out, they got a shot.
Yeah, but to say over the course of 7 games,
no back-to-back.
That is tough.
I mean, that's where they went now.
With a young team like that.
I think they'll beat them in 7. Give me 7 games and Portland win.
Yeah, I don't know what context you're putting with that. I don't know.
Give me 7 games and I think Portland will beat them.
Yeah.
I have to get to see. I have to get to see what Darvin Ham can do though, because I do know this. Back when the Lakers did win, the one thing I was very impressed with Vogel was how, like, remember how the guards would destroy the Lakers in Game 1. Every playoff series, guards was destroying the Lakers in Game 1. But as that series got older, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, they start locking them guards up, bro. Vogel did a very good job. Now, he did have bigger defenders, too, though. He had the KCPs. He had the Carusos. He had Danny Green. Those guys are 6'5", 6'6", and they were going up against the Hardens, the Russes, the Dame Lillards. These guys are all smaller than them, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? So it could have been that too. But I got to see what Darvin does because those guards stepped up as that series went on, and then AD stepped up. AD just kept destroying dudes, especially in the playoffs. He was eating people alive. And I don't see them teams ain't much different now. All those teams in the West, they are not much different now. They're not. So I think if the Lakers are healthy, they'll definitely do it. And again, the reason why people say you crazy to believe in them, Elder, the reason I believe in the Lakers now is because I've seen a major difference from what they did last year and this year. Last year, we lost games to a lot of teams we shouldn't have. A lot of bad teams beat the Lakers last year. And then in the good teams, who do we compete against? Most good teams, when they were focused, they blew us out. Name the good team when the Lakers have been healthy that they blew the Lakers out this year. It ain't been one. They'd have competed in every game. So that's why I can see the Lakers are going to be fine. They just got to keep doing
but wait a minute, Elder. You can use that logic with any team. Name a team that being healthy, whatever.
No, I can't. No, my brother. I can't. I can't use that. My brother, I can't use that logic because I got teams now that are healthy enough to win. They're playing bad teams and they're getting beat and they're getting blown out sometimes.
Nah, them teams not healthy.
Boy, hold on. We just saw. Hold on. Like I'll use Milwaukee. Did we not just see Milwaukee get blown out by a bad team? Did not Houston just blow them out?
Hey, Chris Middleton's still trying to get right. You know Chris Middleton's still trying to get right.
They still got healthy enough guys. Miguel Jester. I don't care who's on that court for them.
Then Drew Holiday in and out of the lineup.
As good as they are, even with Drew out the lineup, if you got Giannis and Middleton,
they're not healthy then,
and Portis, there's no way you should lose to Houston by what you just lost to.
They're not healthy then. You said healthy. That was your key word in that, healthy.
I think they are healthy, though. Those teams are
they're
healthy.
Not,
I would call that
Drew Holiday.
Okay, bro. Again, so Drew Holiday is worth 40. What they beat them by, y'all? Anybody remember? Somebody just beat them by like 40 points. Somebody just beat them by like 30, 40 points, bro. You telling me Drew Holiday makes up that big of a difference?
Man, you're changing your logic though. That ain't what you said.
I didn't.
You're changing your logic now. That is not what you said. You said healthy. You said healthy teams getting blew out. That's what you said. They're not healthy.
No, Miguel Justin. I was saying healthy when I was talking about the Lakers beating teams in the playoffs.
I know what you said.
I wasn't talking about that with these regular season wins. I shifted when I said to watch.
Come on, bro. Don't do me like that, bro. I ain't dumb now. Don't play with me like I'm slow now.
I didn't say you dumb.
You're not listening. Like I'm slow now.
You're not listening. That's all I said. We shifted to why I believe the Lakers could make the playoffs. We shifted. You didn't shift. Everybody else did. We shifted to why they could make the playoffs. That ain't got. Then I said the reason why is because the Lakers are playing these teams decently. They're playing all the good teams. They beat a couple, and they played all of them tough. And they're not losing to any bad team. Somebody go show me where the Lakers lost to a bad team this year. Now, they had some bad losses. Don't get me wrong. But they have not lost to a bad team this year. To me, they've had 3 bad losses. But they were all to good teams, playoff teams. Indiana's a playoff team. That's a bad loss. Portland's a playoff team. That was a bad loss. The Celtics is the best team in the NBA right now. That was a bad loss. Those are 3 bad losses, but they're to playoff teams. They have no duds against teams that they shouldn't beat. They beat all of them so far. We ain't played a lot of them, but we beat all of them. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. So, but you got to still win these games when you're playing against bad teams like San Antonio, Houston, Orlando. You got to beat these teams. You got to beat them. And I'm seeing a lot of teams not be focused enough to beat these teams. Same crap Lakers was doing last year. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lamont, what did you hear about the Warriors front office trying to do? You mentioned something about they were looking at trading Wiseman or Jordan Poole or something like that.
You hear Lamont?
Did Lamont leave?
Yeah, I'm here. I had to take a call real quick.
There you go. There you go.
What up?
Yeah, I was just asking you about, what is the Warriors front office talking about because I caught some of what you were saying earlier about Wiseman or Poole or something. The comment I was making about Poole, though, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. Somebody was saying that you couldn't trade Poole because he just signed that contract, but I was basically telling them that that contract extension doesn't kick in until next year, so it's not like you just signed him uh, to play right now.
I thought Poole could be traded. He just has the poison pill
Yeah,
clause. That's about
yeah.
it. But he can be traded.
What is
Um,
Lamont? Isn't that though? Like, because I think his salary is what 3.9 or something right now, and then it jumps all
yeah.
the way up to 30 million. So what I think, and I don't know this 100%. What has to happen is you have to trade for a guy that's only making 3.9. But that team that's getting Poole, they got to have enough cap space to cover his salary for next year. Is that
Yeah.
what the poison pill is? That's what makes it difficult. Like it has to be a team that can
Um,
show we can pay him next year. Like they can't get a $30 million player for him now. They can't. They
No.
can't trade for a $30 million player for him now.
no, they can.
You said it
So
what?
so so like if there was a
Okay.
player that the Warriors wanted that's making like 25 million a year, something equivalent to whatever Jordan Poole is going to be making next year,
Okay.
they could trade for that player straight up for Jordan Poole, and they could count the money that he's making next year towards to match the salary for the player that they're trying to bring in.
Well, that don't seem
Okay.
complicated to me. And they say that poison pill thing is very complicated to pull off. That don't sound complicated.
No.
I ain't gonna lie, and I'm gonna go read it now since I'm in it. But I do remember hearing that the poison, if that's the name of it, yeah, because the Gilbert Arenas is re-signing second round picks. That's the Gilbert Arena. I was getting the two mixed. But if the poison pill is this, I heard that's extreme. That's what Kuzma was caught up in. Remember when the Lakers
Mm-hmm.
re-signed Kuzma? He was jumping from $2 million, y'all, all the way up to $14 million or whatever he's making now. And
Mm-hmm.
they could not trade him until the end. They pretty much could not get a deal done because of that poison pill thing. So they had to wait, then trade him once the contract kicked in.
Well, I think what it prevents though, it prevents teams from trying to like really, really finesse. Like, let's say you have a really, really good team that's loaded with little cap space. Let's say you have, and then they want to trade for Jordan Poole, who signed a rookie scale extension that doesn't kick it into the next year. Well, they can't give up a guy that's making $4 million and just trade straight up for Jordan Poole as if that's an even trade, even though his real salary kicks in that next year. I think that's where the poison pill clause kicks in. That team that trades for him, you have to match the salary of his rookie scale extension.
Yeah.
You can't just try to go match that little 3-4 million he's making now. Think you can kind of finesse and get him for the low, and now you got him
Yeah.
under contract for the next couple of years.
I'm gonna pull it up
What I
and
want
see
to
what it
say
says.
about like the GP2 situation, um,
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere, and I know they talked on local radio at the time that he signed with Portland. I think it actually would have came out to an average of what, like 50 to 60 million dollars in luxury tax per season. So essentially, you would have been paying what about 60 something million a year to have GPT for only about what he signed for 9 million a year in Portland. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that they were going to eat that, especially when you consider they did the deal with Wiggins and Poole. It was just too much. I mean, I just think at some point in time you can't keep paying everybody just because they've been spending so much in the luxury tax. I think to some degree it's unreasonable. Now it's not my money, so I don't care. They can blow it, whatever. But I'm not surprised that they went that route, and he hasn't been playing this year, for what I'm understanding. So they were going to lose some pieces. Like the Warriors right now are in the transition period. They're trying to hold on to the old while integrate the new. So it's going to be some problems. But I definitely believe there's chemistry issues, like you were talking about, on the court, maybe off the court, whatever. Um, I just think what happens is, the Warriors have been used to playing a certain kind of way for so long, and you've had players and pieces that fit. Eventually, you're gonna hit a rut where you kind of get some players that maybe don't quite fit in that. Like you can only strike gold so many times before you come back to the pack like everybody else. So I think what's happening right now for me, I wouldn't trade Wiseman for no Jakob Hurtle or nothing like that. If you're gonna get rid of Wiseman, who's the number 2 pick, and I know people want to call him a bust and all that, with Steph Curry being hurt, you need protection so that if somebody like him go down, you still feel you can win. Like if you trading Wiseman, you're trying to win a chip. Like you're not giving him away just for a marginal player that really don't move the needle. I don't want somebody who is going to make Steph Curry better because he can set a few more screens and he can get some more rebounds and all that type of shit. No, I need somebody like a KD. And if you don't get KD, then give me somebody on that next tier, lower tier behind him. That's the only reason why you make that trade. Otherwise, what are we really doing? I mean, like you came into the season knowing that there was a chance that these young players may not be ready, at least in the first half of the season. So, there has to come a point in time where you realize what you have. And then I think we've also mismanaged some things. Kerr is kind of all over the place, even with Wiseman's rookie year. We starting them, then we not. We not chasing wins, now we are. We're going to let them do a little bit more, then we're not. Like, there's never been no real structure from my point of view when it came to him in particular. And then when you start throwing Kaminga and Moody in, you got three young guys that you're trying to integrate all at the same time with a couple of pieces that's missing. Also, another thing too, we don't have a stretch big, which is something that we would normally have. We used to have Mo Spates at about 6'10" who could shoot. We had David West, even though he wasn't a 3-point shooter, he could step out from 15, 20 feet. We had Bielisa last year. We really don't have a big like that. Coincidentally, the only big with that potential on the team is Wiseman, but we don't use him in the pick and pop like we did his rookie year. So for me, before we start panicking and making too many moves, we almost got to ride this out for a little bit because everybody's so jumbled together. You don't want to make a panic move that you didn't really have to. I think it's still a little too tight right now. When teams start to separate themselves a little bit, you almost gotta ride it out to where you're taking a risk of missing out, unless you got a deal for sure. That's a no brainer. That's how I look at it.
Hey,
I don't
Lamont.
know. Yeah, what's up?
I looked at that poison pill thing, and I understand where the confusion was coming in at, but I think I understand. I'm pretty sure I understand it now because that came into play this year during the Donovan Mitchell trade with New York. Remember, New York put the timeline on when they was going to sign R.J. Barrett, and remember, once they signed R.J. Barrett, everybody knew there's no way he's going to be included in this deal because of the poison pill contract that he's under. And essentially what that is, y'all, is when you have a guy on a rookie contract and the team extends him, but then try to trade him before that new contract kicks in, that's where the poison bill comes. Because like with Barrett, here's the example. Barrett was making $10.9 million as a number 3 pick, right? But the new contract gives him a max extension. So he's going to be making $30 million, right? So what has to happen, if they would have included Barrett in that trade, they would send out his $10.9 million, right? But the team that's receiving Barrett, Barrett makes $10.9 million. The Knicks would have had to receive back $10.9 million of salary, right? For whatever player come back, that would have had to match 10.9. But the team that's receiving the bigger player, I'm sure I got that right. Hold on. Yep, I'm looking at it. Because they said in that deal, what would have had to happen is the Knicks would have needed to get back a $10.9 million player for Barrett. But the Jazz would have had to been able to cover $26.2 million because that's the average of his 5 years of that contract that got extended. They would have took the average of the 5 years of the contract, and they would have had to have that much. That's where I was coming in when I said team have to have salary cap space. Because if you're doing a deal like that where you're only sending out 10 and you're bringing back 25, you go 26, you got to have that salary cap space to do that. And that's why the poison pill thing is hard, because most teams that have salary cap space during the regular season, they're not contending. So they're not trying to get a player like a RJ Barrett like that. and eat up their salary cap space. But I'm reading it right here. It was saying that's what made it difficult because they would be sending out 10.9 million to the Jazz, but would have to receive 26.2 million, which is bare. So that's what it is. Yeah, the team sending out, they send out 10.9, but they would have to receive a player back. So that's what you were saying, Lamont. If they saw a player like Vooch that makes that kind of money now, 25 million, they could, in essence, take him back. But they got to have the cap space to do that, though. Because if you're only sending out 10 million, you can't take that back if you don't have the extra cap space to make up that, what was that, $16 million. If you don't have the cap space to make that up, you ain't going to be able to do that deal. But you'd have to receive more back because that's the contract you would have had if you'd have kept that player. It'd have been that amount. I see why nobody really does those deals because that's a hard thing to pull off.
Yeah,
very hard to pull off.
It gets tricky. And you got to just kind of be in the right position to pull a trade like that off. That's about it.
Yeah.
Wiseman is trash. He's overhyped. No, he's not trash. He just needs time. Remember, a lot of people don't realize that Wiseman really hasn't played a ton of basketball since coming back from injury. Even when he left college, he only played, maybe 5 or 6 games in college. He had to sit, and he comes to the NBA. He gets hurt, so he sits, so he really hasn't played a ton of actual basketball. He's just now figuring the game out. He's super young, so a lot of people say he's overhyped, but,
I think he's on a bad. I think the system with Golden State just not good for his skill set.
It's a bad system for him. Yeah, he's an offensive guy. He needs the ball. They want him to be defensive without the ball. And so
and he's not he can pass, but he's not the greatest passer. So they just don't fit. They don't fit.
You know what it is? They're trying to, in some ways, make him like Looney, but that's just not his game. He likes to score. It's like, I hate it when they try to make a player something he's not. I think that when you draft a guy, you got to know what you're getting and cater to what he's naturally good at and comfortable doing, and slowly start to work on the other things. I mean, everybody's not going to be a good defensive player coming out of college. Let's just be honest. Some guys will never play defense. Some guys play 10, 12 years in the league, get marginally better defensively, but their value is their offense. You just got to work around that. Looney took years to develop. Like, people love Looney now, but I could tell you out here in the Bay, Looney's first few years, people wanted him off the team. Now, all of a sudden, you win a few championships with him. He settled into his role, and he even talked about how he feels for Wiseman because things were rough for him starting off. And he also had injuries. So it's easier said than done when you get to be a fan and talk shit and not sit up here and actually have to be in the practices and then compete. But, we'll see what Wiseman to do. He'll be playing tonight. And also, he's actually been playing better in the G League. But I do believe that, there takes some patience too. But this is a problem. When you've been winning for so long, you expect everything now. And so the Warriors just got to find that right bridge between the here and the now. I don't believe you win every year, obviously. So it's not going to disappoint me if we don't. I care more about let's get this thing right so that we know what to do in the future, because you got Draymond Green's contract coming up, whether he opts in or not. Then you got to worry about Klay Thompson. And I'm going to be honest, you paying that guy a lot of money. He's not the same Klay, but the problem with Klay, to me, more so than that, is you can't play him every game. He's sitting back to backs. We're not good enough, in my opinion, to have a player like Klay Thompson not play back to backs. We don't have the same depth. We have chemistry issues, and then he's not even the same player. So you need to get as much of him out of him as you can. So, like, right now, this is kind of a transition period. We won the chip last year. It might be a little bit tougher for us to get back. So we might need to take a step back to go 2 or 3 steps forward, because at the end of the day, you can't keep counting on Steph, Klay, and Dre to win. You do have to look to the future, and these guys are getting older. The injuries might pile up more. You got to have an exit strategy in case this happens. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, nah. It's just is what it is, man. Like I said, the Warriors got a tough road ahead of them. That's why they need to capitalize. That's why they can't let this year slip away without capitalizing. Even though Steph just got hurt, I know they were talking about it in the chat. They're going to have to find a way to, Jordan Poole's going to have to elevate his game right now. This is what he's there for.
They in rough shape, in my opinion, because I agree everything what the brother just said and with you, Lamont, because when you get older players, You like when they did what they did a couple years ago. That's because those guys were in their early 30s. Now these guys are towards their mid 30s, and taking a step back may mean you having 1 or 2 mediocre years. Them guys is not gonna have it in them at 36, 37 years old to lead these teams to championships. So they're gonna have to do some adjusting and all that kind of stuff. I literally think with them though, it's just these young players have not developed for the system that they have there the way they want them to. So if I'm them, I actually move some of these younger assets they got and get guys in there that do fit it and try to extend this winning right now. Because when I hit rock bottom, I just hit it. You know what I mean? But I'd like to hit rock bottom at 10 years, 5 championships. You see what I'm saying? Because I think they set up. I think they're set up now. They can win. Move some of these young guys because they have great value. Get in veterans that can fit your system well and help you win right now. And then when you got rid of all your younger, but we got chips out of it. You got to do this for chips, y'all. Keeping those young guys was not going to get us chips right now. Same way with the Lakers back then. Everybody talk about look at these guys now. None of those guys that the Lakers got rid of have led any team to no championships. Now this situation with what's the name, it can turn because they're looking real good in New Orleans. They're looking very, very good, and they still got a couple more picks to get from us. If they mess around and become a dynasty from that, then you can say they won the trade. But until they win a chip, the Lakers have won the trade because they did all of that to win the chip. The Lakers got the chip. So if I'm Golden State, that's what I'm doing. I'm moving Wiseman. I'm moving Kuminga. I like Moody. I think Moody could still work with them. So I may not try to move him, but I think Wiseman and Kuminga got a lot of value. If I can move them dudes to get in veterans that work well with me and get assets back, I would do that. That's what I would do.
They got to pull the trigger now, though. That's thing.
What I'm saying.
Do it, they can't wait. They got to pull the trigger now.
They
got to do it now. If they don't do it now, then they just gonna be stuck.
But do you think that's something that can happen during the season, or would it have to be in the off season?
It would have to be right now. Like when I say now, if they're gonna make that trade, they got to do it now.
I think before the end of this calendar year, because they need to get these guys time. I don't think you wait till February. I think they need to get these guys time to come in, adjust, do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? Then be clicking at the right time. Think about what Boston did, y'all. I mean, I guess it could work like that. Boston's a lot younger, though. But Boston was mediocre last year.
I think the value in Wiseman and Kuminga is more so in the unknown right now. There's not a humongous sample size of them playing in game enough to where teams can truly judge them. So teams are still looking at these guys as projects that can still turn into all-stars. But if you let them play out more, if you let them finish out and play out and they really, truly don't look like guys that could blossom into what teams think, they're just going to lose value the longer you hold on to them.
I'm going to show you a good trade a realistic trade that can work right now, right? I know they're Western teams. They don't want to help each other, but I think they would. This would be a good trade. If you don't believe in Wiseman, trade him right now. He was a number 2 player pick, so he's making what, 10, 11, 12 million dollars? Trade him to Phoenix, right? And take back Jay Crowder.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm telling you, because Crowder would help.
Really?
Again, Phoenix. Let me tell you, I'm not saying to y'all looking at it player for player like, no, he got too much potential. You want to win now. You want to win now. You're giving up, old boy. So I'm getting Crowder and picks. I know Phoenix don't believe in DeAndre Ayton. Now you got the opportunity to bring him in, let him see if he fits. He fits well, they'll go ahead and move Ayton the way they want to anyway. Now you still got a young center that you can develop with those guys you got. You get picks and you get a wing that you really need to help you. Now, people will look at that trade and name-wise right now and say, oh, man, that's a bad trade. It's not a bad trade because it fits my team, and I think I can plug assets from Phoenix because I don't believe they believe in Ayton still. Even though he's playing decent, I don't think Phoenix want Ayton for 30-something million. So now you get this brother, and he got, a year or 2 left still on his rookie deal? I still got at least a year to evaluate Wiseman before I got to make a decision on extending him. You see what I'm saying? but that gives me a much better chance. And I get rid of a guy. I send a guy to a situation that he wants to be in. I give up assets, but I give it up for somebody that I think I could believe in. I think Phoenix would think Wiseman fit their system better than Ayton does. I think they would.
Maybe.
With the
Yeah,
way
I don't know. That'd be. I mean, look, I like the concept of it, but I think the one thing that would dissuade me is the fact that Crowder hasn't played a game this year. That's the problem. If Crowder was actively playing and he was ready to go, and I don't need to tune him up or get him in shape.
That's a veteran, and that's why you do it now. You tell him you can't get in.
Yeah, you're right. You have to do trades now. If you're gonna do trades like that, you cannot wait.
He's got 5 months to get into playoff form, and I know what Crowder's gonna do in the playoffs.
I think the Warriors should also go after Thibault as well right now, while you could probably get him pretty cheap, and I think they could get the Sixers to come off of. I mean, I don't know. I would, if I'm the Warriors, I'm looking at Tobias Harris and Thibault. I'm looking at both those guys right now, trying to figure out
for who though. Hold on, for who? Because Tobias Harris makes $40 million. He makes $38 million.
He makes 38.
For who? Yes, Tobias makes $38 million.
Who
you giving up on that team?
I didn't know he made that much. I thought Tobias was more so at 20.
No, they paid Tobias instead of Jimmy Butler. Remember?
That's true. Yeah, I
they
didn't know
paid
he was
him
getting
instead
38.
of Jimmy. Yeah, he's making 38 now.
Yeah,
no
if
way
he's making 38, then that's
Harris.
probably next to impossible to move him.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Crowder is that wing that would really help them. Knock the three down, great defensively. He's the piece that can really help them. He slides right into that role that what's the dude that went to Toronto from Georgetown? Otto Porter. He fits right into that role that Otto Porter had. Right into it.
But do you think, I know you said attach some draft picks to it, so that kind of recoups what you lose with a young player with Rodgers. I'm just looking at, does Jay Crowder really move it the way the Warriors would like to compete for a chip? Like, does he move the needle enough? Because that's what I look at. Like, take Wiseman out of the picture. What player am I giving back that I feel really pushes me? Because, for a marginal move, I don't think you really doing too much.
Marginal moves are the ones that win you championships.
Hey, they don't need the superstar. They don't need the superstar move. Wiggins was a marginal move when you really think about it. Those guys made more money. But that was really a marginal move. You're bringing in a guy that's going to be third or fourth option on your team. That's marginal.
But let's be honest. Wiggins compared to Crowder, talent wise and all, what Wiggins can bring to the table is much more than what Crowder would bring. That's just how I look at it. You may disagree.
But the pieces that you're missing, the pieces you're missing is a good, like Wiggins down now. Who do they have to replace him? Nobody.
Yeah, no, you're right. We need two Wiggins. We definitely need two more like Wiggins.
Defensively, Crowder is a dog. And he's a veteran that already knows how to get to the chip. He knows how to win. You need pieces like that. That's what's costing them now. Their starters are fine. It's when the bench guys come in where they lose everything. And you can't win by playing your starters.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of Warriors fans don't want to acknowledge this. I don't believe our starters have been quite as great as people make it out to me. I don't care what the numbers say. They've blown a lot of games late. People need to look at that. Like, this is what I was talking about. Like, we starting to come down a bit. Like, we've made a lot of bad decisions with the ball. Klay Thompson, they had to have a meeting because he was shooting too damn much or something. Like, when you look at that 0-5 road trip that we went on, that we lost to Charlotte, Detroit, Miami, New Orleans, we sat everybody, so I don't really count that too much. And I'm trying to think of who else. Detroit, Charlotte, Orlando, Miami. The starters were out there at the end and couldn't close it. We had leads. We blew it. I believe we're 1-8 or something like that in games decided by 5 points or less in the last 5 minutes. A lot of that is with the starters. And there are certain things that I saw this year that I was not seeing last season. And I'm just saying that, to me, I'm seeing some warning signs that maybe some of these guys are coming down a little bit more than what we want to admit. See, the numbers with the plus minus and all that type of stuff, that look good. But when you watch the whole game, I'm telling you, Wiseman and a lot of these guys were getting DMPs, only playing 8 minutes. It was the starters blowing those games. Even that game against Sacramento. where Kevin Huerter got fouled.
Hey y'all, I gotta cut this short today. Well, we didn't cut it short. We actually went over 20 minutes, but
my bad.
I gotta get this in there. I gotta head out to campus because we got a game tonight. But
knock them out, man. Get it done. Get it done.
We short-handed tonight. I'm not gonna expect too much of the guys tonight, but hopefully we can pull it off.
Give them a fit aid.
Hold on, what'd you say?
I said, get them a fit aid. They'll be all right.
Oh yeah, they're gonna need it. We're gonna have to get them some HGH or something tonight if we're trying to win tonight. It's gonna be a tough one. This is gonna be a tough one right here. I'm really short-handed. This was a game that is really just a replacement game. There's a local JUCO team. They're pretty good. I think they're like number 3 in the country. They had a team cancel on them at the last minute because of weather, and we're just a replacement game for them. And a lot of my players have went home. The majority of my starting lineup has already went home for a winter break. They're not going to be back, so I'm just kind of using some fill-in guys for the night to make it happen. But maybe we could probably pull off the upset, man. We could pull off the upset. That'd be big for some of the guys, some of the freshmen that I got coming out to play today. So
some of their confidence.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lamont, appreciate you, my brother.
All right,
keep
man.
grinding.
Yes,
Salute.
sir.
Y'all stay up.
Man.
Shalom.
Yep.
All right. Peace.
All right, y'all, man. It's a great show today. I appreciate y'all pulling up, man. Like I said, a lot of trade talk, man. We're gonna be covering more of the NBA trades. As the trades start to actually happen, as the rumors start to kick up into another gear, we're gonna be covering them more and more. So make sure y'all tune in here to FYF Sports, man, for all your basketball talk, man. Tomorrow we're gonna be talking about some topics. Tomorrow, man, we're gonna, obviously, this is a topic that I've been wanting to touch on. I know not everybody's truly interested in it, but obviously, I mean, you just got some LiAngelo Ball news. We got some more trade news. I do want to talk a little bit about Jackson State, and then Saturday, or actually tomorrow, I think the main topic of the day is, and I know this is off topic, a little bit off topic. I do want to talk about the young Thug Gunner situation a little bit. I know sometimes we don't always talk about basketball topics, but I did want to touch on that tomorrow. So again, I appreciate you guys been tuning in all week, man. Y'all been making these morning streams when we go live in the morning, 10:30 in the morning, usually in the afternoon for some other people. Hold on, it's just damn when you going back live. I'm going back live tomorrow morning, 10:30. If you're on the East Coast, 12 in the afternoon. 12:30 in the afternoon if you're on the East Coast, 9:30 if you're in California. If you on Mountain Time, then it's gonna be 10:30 a.m. So I like these streams. It's a good way to get the day started. We not sitting on here throughout the middle of the night just taking up all your evening endeavors. So like I said, just make sure you turn your notifications on. That's all you need to do. And you'll start seeing, I like to put the notifications out pretty early to let you guys know way ahead of time when we're about to go live. So as long as you hit that notification bell, you'll be getting all those notifications. And like I said, we have 2 channels here. We have FYF Sports Debates and FYF Sports Live. And if you want to watch if you want to use the super chat, or if you want to be a member, you can go over to FYF Sports Debates Live. You can join, you can super chat, or you can just hit the Cash App if you want to support the channel. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's show, man. Today was a great show. We will be back with more sports and news, y'all. But until then, it's FYF Sports. Oh, man, we out.
All I hear is yap, 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 yap. Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch the cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real, they all know. shop don't close. Working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings. We all know who the real is.